charging my phone. Later.
Okay, first item today.
Alright, hello everyone. We're the retards.
The stream is working for now.
Yep, it is. So, it is nearly midnight. It's just the order of this in the playlist will be different because we've done a lot of videos that haven't been uploaded.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of gaming stuff on the Nintendo consoles. Oh yeah! But it'll be uploaded once it's. There's like a 2-hour one as well. Most of them are privated right now because we need to get the order right. So because they're not all done.
We'll get on with it. We'll be done.
I actually haven't had all luck now.
And today, or tonight, we should say, considering this is
A 2-hour-and-a-half video was on 77%, and that's been going for days now.
what? But what we're going to be doing is apparently.
Yeah, I'll say it. Yes.
Who invented parks?
Shrekkers. Oh, the Undisputed videos I uploaded earlier have finally been posted. I'll talk them later as well, because there was an update that I filmed videos on it, but we didn't take a stream. But, so, we're gonna hope the stream stays on, and as you can tell by the title, I and my pals, yes, Woody, we're gonna be watching, something that hopefully doesn't get boring 5 minutes in, because that'd be awkward. So we better hope we don't lose interest. Oh, okay. That's useful.
We want to thank the movie-going
Is it?
Please remember this.
Alright, so you know there's 5 parts to it. Someone put all of it into one video, and it's 6 hours.
Fuck me. Alright, so we're definitely not going to be able to watch all of it today.
Although that would help with me, because I'm probably going to sleep in 6 hours anyway. So yeah, that's what's going to be happening.
Consider this a series, sort of, where we will be reacting to what's the channel's name?
I don't know.
Game and Magic 13 series on Toy Story 4, apparently ruining, or I should say destroying everything to do with the previous 3 movies or something. So
Now we don't need to stop doing this, because there is a fight I want to watch in an hour or 2. But I'm not. Wait, why am I? What?
an hour or 2 is probably the max we'll have tonight anyhow, so
yeah. So that fucking Jake fight is on later, I think.
you said you weren't going to watch the more childish.
Yeah, well, I can't fucking sleep, so I might as well.
True, you did also say that.
Yeah, I did. If I can't sleep and have nothing to do, then I'm just gonna watch some boxing, and I'm gonna watch someone beat up people that he has unfair advantages on.
This as well.
Anyway, but yeah, that'll be a thing that happens. And clip this. Jake wins by decision. Let's see if I'm right. I probably am. Cause
Oh yeah, make sure the phone near the camera mic.
so please don't claim us, Mr. Gaming Magic.
It's more likely to be Pixar just for a few seconds.
So yeah, don't do that. As Eggman would say.
Yes.
So we'll see how much of this we have done. If it was one stream, that'd be cool. But the fucking Jake fight would probably happen by then. because it probably isn't 5 hours, so this is 6 hours. So yeah, we're just gonna have this. We're gonna have Undisputed on in the background. Just that doesn't reload things, right? Undisputed. Usually it doesn't. Usually when Undisputed crashes, it doesn't actually crash. Yeah, see, they're nice like that. Thank you. Now the video's gonna get copyrighted because there was 3 seconds of music. Alright. Alright, so what are we watching? Fucking tell us. Alright. How Toy Story 4 destroyed everything, the complete saga. It's saga. Don't you mean Sega? Shut up.
Sega.
Yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah, and also, I have a Morton burger. Don't you mean an Amy burger?
A molten burger.
I don't know. We like to say our name and then put food in front of it. I mean, Amy invented that.
Just like how Rosa Parks invented parks.
Woody Shrimpos. Woody Shrimpos.
Yeah,
And Bowser Broccolis. Yeah, I've sort of cooked dinner. What about it?
Let's just get on with this stupid video.
We hope that
So, we might have already watched a bit of it, but we're going to restart. Just because.
the movie-going audience so much, especially those that grew up with Toy Story. We hope that your adventures with Woody and Buzz made growing up a little bit easier.
Please remember this for later. I've made it no secret that I absolutely despise Toy Story 4 with the burning intensity of 1,000 supernova explosions. I've mentioned it in what is probably a cumulative hundreds of Let's Play videos at this point, be it as an offhand comment or as a mini rant, promising to one day make a video elaborating on that position ever since I ripped Danganronpa 3 a new one. And now the time has finally come. Toy Story 4 is a colossal failure from almost every aspect of storytelling. The plot is less cohesive than Swiss cheese. The characters are all shells of their former selves, and that's putting it very lightly in some instances. The consistency of the cause and effect is equivalent to that of a game of bunco, where characters either get insanely lucky or insanely unlucky, depending on whatever the plot requires. And there is irreparable damage dealt to the world building of the Toy Story universe, accomplished with nothing more than a frenetic and romantic eating utensil. This film would be in tatters, even if it existed solely in a vacuum with no connection to any of the pre-existing material. But sadly, it doesn't. It doesn't just exist in a vacuum. It is the fourth and final entry in one of the most beloved animated.
It's actually not, because it's the 5th one.
Oh, I'm not scared of this person, Mario.
Why?
I feel like he would sneak up on me in a dark alley and steal my wallet.
Robert?
Wallet, Robert.
What are you guys doing? Watching a video on why Toy Story 4 is apparently bad.
We're watching a video about why Toy Story 4 is apparently bad. Oh,
I missed.
oh, did you?
Well, Woody, you must be pretty sad about this.
Yeah, it's definitely one way I wanted to spend my Saturday night.
Well, I'm glad other people are smart as well as Barney. Oh, great.
What if this is Barney's channel?
No, because already the English this guy's produced, Barney could never do.
Oh, yeah.
That's impossible.
Say what you want about this man, but his English is exceptional.
Why is he not scripting a video is? Well, that's just not going to happen. Luigi, your head is going to be a problem. Move that way.
Oh, okay. Luigi, your head is going to be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Film series of all time, and what it does to its predecessors is utterly unforgivable. It's indefensible. This movie has mercilessly, you might even say maliciously, annihilated every single substantive aspect of the original 3 movies. Every character arc, every story beat, every lasting message, everything that was at the beating heart and soul of that trilogy was doused in gasoline, lit on fire, and then promptly nuked by this complete and utter train wreck of a film, written and directed by a man who claims to love Toy Story with all his heart, and who hides behind that thinly veiled guise of adoration in every single interview when the fruits of his efforts couldn't possibly serve as a more blatant contradiction to that idea if he was trying. Oh, are you wondering what I mean by all that? Wondering how I could possibly speak ill of a Pixar movie, especially when it has been nominated for and subsequently won an Oscar for being the best animated feature and received almost unanimous positive praise across the internet? As if that means anything at all. Well, if you find yourself faced with those questions, if you watch this movie and genuinely believe it to be a masterpiece, that's the perfect conclusion to the Toy Story series, or even if you...
By the way, the reason why I'm not talking much to Woody's seen this bit.
Yeah.
But we will talk more on this.
just believe that it's not that bad of a movie, then Buckle up, everyone. I'll take you on a journey through the world of Toy Story 4.
Trust me, we
covering
don't just sit
every
and watch
last thing that this film destroyed.
for 6
Plot to
hours.
characters to world building to themes and messaging, with timestamps in the description, signposting each subject for your viewing convenience. So then, without further ado, I invite you to sit back and relax as I finally tear this pile of rancid sewage to shreds with the same fervor and passionate hatred that the writers had when they wiped out the original trilogy. Let's get this wagon
Alright, here we
train
go.
a-moving.
Yeah,
I am
this is
pleased to now present you the complete edition of How Toy Story 4 Destroyed Everything. Enjoy the show. We begin with the opening logo present in front of every Walt Disney Animated Studios feature film since Pirates of the Caribbean and Dead Man's Chest. Why are we starting here instead of just skipping straight to the opening prologue, you may ask? Well, because it's not the logo itself that I'm interested in here. It's the music. Does this sound familiar to any of you? No? Well, it certainly should. Yup. The track that plays when Woody first arrives at Al's apartment is exactly the same as the track that opens up Toy Story 4. But why does that matter, you may ask?
It's not really an issue.
No.
They minor nitpick there, if you ask your fellow children.
Why bother talking about the opening musical track of the movie? It's just supposed to be an easily identifiable Toy Story tune to quickly pull you back into this world. No harm, no foul. Hey, you know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm looking too far into things. Maybe we should just let this one go and enjoy the movie. Let's just enjoy the movie, shall
Maybe.
we? Though you may still want to keep this topic in mind on the off chance it comes back up again later. Not that that would ever happen.
Hi, my name is Josh Cooley. I am the director of Toy Story 4.
And I am Mark Nielsen, producer on Toy Story 4.
Hi, Mark.
Hey there, Josh. Would you like to go see a film? I hear Toy Story 4 is in theater. Hope we can get tickets.
Your
Oh yeah,
tail's gonna be
by
a
the way,
problem.
I'll also be referencing the
There's a
director
train coming at
commentary
me.
track occasionally throughout this video. Director Josh Cooley and producer Mark Nielsen will be popping up every now and again whenever they have something particularly interesting to say. And I think you'll find some of their commentary to be quite enlightening. The film properly opens on a dark and stormy night 9 years ago. But why 9 years ago? Well, the reason why they've chosen to create a 9-year time gap between this flashback and the events of Toy Story 4 is because in the real world, it had been 9 years between the releases of Toy Story 3 and 4. So the audience is supposed to see this text and think, ah, I see, that makes sense, based on meta-knowledge of the film's release dates. Except that this scene takes place in Andy's house from Toy Story 2 when he's still a kid, when in Toy Story 3, he was already...
I understand the confusion, but it means in universe.
Mm-hmm.
Because in universe, Toy Story 4, let's say it's a year after Toy Story 3.
Yeah. So.
And the gap between Toy Story 2 and 3 is quite far because, well, Andy's a kid in the second one, and then he's, I believe, 17 in the third one. So that's what it actually means. I know it's a bit confusing because of the release date, but I don't know. I don't think it takes a genius to figure that out. I don't see that as an issue, but I understand why someone would make that assumption. But no.
You know what assumptions do, though? They make an ass out of being new.
So it obviously means in between the second and third one. Also, you would tell immediately when you see Bo Peep anyway, and see that Andy's young. Like, that's what I mean. At first, you'd probably think that, but then you'd be like, oh, okay.
I really like the beginning of Toy Story 4 because it's a bit like Toy Story 2.5.
17 years old, ready to go off to college. Meaning that despite what the deceptive flashback text is trying to get you to think about, this is not referring to the in-real-life time gap of 9 years. It is instead referring to the in-universe time gap of 9 years between an unspecified time after Toy Story 2 and the main events of Toy Story 4, which appears to be totally fine on the surface of things. Just so we don't come across anything later that, when considered in conjunction with this information, makes the entire crux of this film's ending harder to swallow than an ostrich egg. Anyway, on this dark and stormy night, Andy comes bursting back into his room carrying several of his toys in his arms, having just run back inside after playing out in the rain. He then runs off to go wash his hands with dinner and leaves the toys back in his bedroom, but all is not well as we soon discover that in his mad dash to get back inside, he missed a toy. RC is out amidst the storm struggling for survival. I don't know how the hell Andy could have possibly missed the largest toy out of this group, as well as the one whose mechanics would be most endangered by a...
Probably because it's dark and it fell into the little area.
Yeah.
But, alright.
rainstorm as a motorized remote control car, but whatever. Wait, why was he even playing out in the driveway in the first place when he has a giant backyard to play in? Oh, is it...
That is a good point. But I don't know.
It's
It's
simple. He was being stupid.
there was. I mean, at the same time of this scene, there was someone in the house looking to buy Bo Peep. I think. So I think the door's already open, and he probably just went out. That's probably just a simple
We're
solution.
talking about a kid who was literally 5 minutes away from going to his summer camp, and he set up all his toys up in his room. This is someone who will play with his toys in any possible way,
Yeah,
at
exactly.
any time.
And he's also like young as fuck. So
yeah.
sorry, fucking hell. But yeah. So again,
we can have a more stable surface to drive RC around on? Because if that's the case, then he has even less of an excuse to not have brought RC back into the house, since he would have been the sole reason that he would have gone outside in the first place. Wait a minute, where's RC's remote? He's not holding it in his hands when he comes running into the room. Did you go outside and play with RC without the literal remote you need to have in order to control RC? What? Oh, whatever. Okay, so Woody immediately leaps into action since he never leaves a toy behind and summons Buzz, Jesse, and Slinky to come with him to Molly's room. Upon entering, Woody takes a solid 10 seconds to stand around staring mindlessly at the light projectors from Bo Peep's lamp, despite the fact that RC is literally fighting for his life outside right now. I sure hope these precious seconds don't make things way harder for you than they otherwise would have been. Turns out the reason why we had a staring contest with the floor for 10 seconds was because we had to wait for Molly to prance her way out of the room, despite the fact that Andy's mom called her kids down for dinner nearly half a minute ago at this point, and we don't see anything over in this side of the room that would have been keeping her busy, so what the heck took her so long? Moving on, Woody wastes even more time slinking her.
it just doesn't mean much, to be honest with you, Mr. Mate.
She could have been drawing or something, or playing with little toys. They don't.
This just isn't like this guy is a fucking overanalyst. Let's be real.
It's about
He's
this whole
literally
thing.
he's watched this movie 100 million times, gone frame by frame. Like fucking hell, man. They're kids. They could. I take forever to even get down the fucking stairs. Like it doesn't matter, man. That's
On the corner, despite the fact that he now knows the exact locations of all three family members as he watched both kids run down the stairs to the dinner table and heard the mom call him from downstairs, before finally sprinting across Molly's room as we come face to face with Bo Peep? Guys, do you remember her outfit from the first two movies? Because it wasn't this, I can tell you that much. It may appear to be the same on a superficial level. She still has her iconic crook that got Pixar put on PETA's watch list. She has her classic bonnet, and she has her classic dress. Except here's the thing, that's not her dress. Go back and watch the first two movies. Her dress is a rigid object that does not react to movement the way a human's dress would due to the nature of her design. Yes, it still flows with the wind somewhat, but it doesn't drift back towards her body like a normal dress. It remains in this rigid umbrella-style shape as if there's a wireframe inside permanently holding it up. It's most obvious in this shot from Toy Story 2, where she is literally dangling in midair, yet the dress remains perfectly rigid and doesn't shift even a little bit with gravity. But that's not all. It is very clear in the original movies that her walking abilities are heavily impaired because she's not supposed to be a child's plaything. She's not supposed to be an action figure. She's supposed to be a lamp. A porcelain lamp accessory that isn't meant to be handled by children, which is why she's always shown to be wobbling.
what if they replaced it or some shit? And again, this just isn't an issue. Like, does it have to be 100%? Like, fucking hell.
I mean, I guess he's technically right, but it doesn't ruin the movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not a huge issue, you know. Like, that doesn't make it lose any points.
Instead of the more natural walking animations that are gifted to the other characters. Now, you may be thinking, okay, so they applied a new physics engine to her clothing. What's the big deal here? Well, the thing is, it's not just her appearance that's changed. In this one scene alone, Bo Peep demonstrates more initiative, gumption, and leadership in a matter of seconds than was ever shown in the first two movies, commanding the other toys around Molly's room of the same caliber that Woody did mere moments ago in Andy's room. And to put it simply, this is not the Bo.
Again, no, I'm pretty sure this is probably like a year or two, or maybe even a few years after the second one.
I don't fucking know. Maybe.
I would imagine so, but I mean, that can be agreed with. She is a completely different character. Even like it makes sense for her to be different in the present time, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure the idea is
Annie would
she
be
went in
mad
that.
in Toy Story 2.
The idea is she went in that. She was like the leader of that room, so she kind of had to or some shit. I'm guessing that's what the idea is, but
I mean, isn't she like in charge in the first one the moment Woody left? I mean, me. I'm just saying. Like, she was the one who like commanded everyone, kinda. She was
Yeah.
definitely second in charge anyway. Whatever. It's not a big deal, anyways. I mean, yeah, it probably would have been better if they made her more like how she was in the first.
Yeah,
two films.
and then when we see her later on in the movie, then she can be like this.
Yeah,
Because
I mean,
it's 9 fucking years.
that would have been better. I admit.
This is like the first thing where I can say fair
Yeah.
in my eyes. I'd
Like-
say this.
Yeah, it would be better, but it doesn't ruin the film that it's not like that.
Yeah, I agree with you.
That we knew. They're not even kind of comparable. They may wear the same clothing, although as we just established, technically that's not even true, but they are not the same person. Bo Peep from the first two movies was always the one that got left behind in the room while the other toys went off and had their adventures. The most we ever saw her do was relay the fact that Buzz is still alive and then tell the Incredible Hulk here to lower the ramp.
She was
Beyond that,
commanding
her
them.
character essentially just boiled down
Like
Yeah.
she did in the
Oh,
fourth
yeah.
one. She's the one telling them to get on their asses and do something.
Yeah, exactly. And also another thing, before she didn't do anything because obviously, she is a fucking lamp and she's easily breakable. But in the new room, she's like the most powerful toy. The other ones, as you could literally fucking see, were little tiny fucking Barbie dolls. They're not gonna help. It obviously has to be Bo Peep, so no shit she's gonna turn into this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
being Woody's love interest, so to see her act the way she does here isn't just jarring, it's straight up inconsistent. And just so we are perfectly clear about this, there is absolutely nothing wrong on a conceptual level with making Bo Peep into a more headstrong character. Because to be frank, with the exception of this one scene from the first movie, if you cut her out of the Toy Story series entirely, you really wouldn't have missed anything prior to Toy Story 4 because she has no impact on anything major and isn't even present in Toy Story 3. The idea of taking a character from the original trilogy who received zero development and whose role amounted to nothing more than be Woody's love interest is a fantastic premise. And since the story of this movie is going to be about reuniting with Bo Peep years after she left her original family of toys, having been on her own for so long, it makes perfect sense for her to demonstrate more resourcefulness when it's just her against the universe. And so that evolution of her character follows logically, conceptually. But it doesn't make any sense for her to be demonstrating that same personality here because it is directly contradicted to her behavior in the first two movies. It would have made far more sense if she had been more in line with how she was originally, and then later in the movie when we see her again after years of being a lost toy, we can see how much she's grown and changed having to adapt to her surroundings. So then, you may be asking yourself, why did they go out of their way to change so much about her in the prologue of this movie when we have evidence clearly highlighting the contradictory behavior? And the answer is a little something called gaslighting. For those of you who don't know, gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation most often highlighted in abusive relationships where someone attempts to get you to question your memory and beliefs. It's a lot more complex and layered than I could possibly cover right now, so if you want to learn more about the topic, I have linked some articles on the description that go into full.
How the fuck does Bo Peep go into gaslighting?
I have my own kind of gaslighting. My lighter didn't go off. Well, Gromit, you're lucky. You really got set on fire.
Detail that I'll touch on here. But the basic premise is simple enough for our analysis today. Being deliberately or unintentionally manipulative by causing someone to doubt their own perceptions and memories. And that is exactly what's being done here. We have unfalsifiable receipts proving definitively that Bo Peep is acting completely incongruent with how she's been previously established and that her outfit has been radically changed. But they show you this character with the same general appearance in a location we're familiar with her being in during a time period when the earliest moments in the series are set because the writers are trying to gaslight you into believing that Bo Peep was always like this. They're afraid that people won't buy into this shift in her personality by default, and the action scenes that they want to take place will never work if Bo Peep has to waddle around like she did previously, so they...
I don't agree.
Yeah, I'm sure they meant to gaslight their audience. I'm very sure.
I don't know about that one.
have to rewrite the history of the material and physics of her dress. But since they can't just straight up rewrite history, they did the next best thing and wrote a scene taking place in the time between Toy Story 2 and 3 and having her act the way that they ultimately want her to so that they can gaslight you into doubting your memory of the original movies. They want you to think, was she really always like this? I mean, it has been 2 decades since I've seen the originals. Ugh. Maybe my memory's really starting to slip. It's downright deceptive and manipulative in a desperate attempt to get the rest of their story to function as they hope and pray that their audience...
This seems a little bit satire to me. I don't know.
Mm.
Like the way the last 10 seconds came out. I don't know if he just speaks a bit weirdly and presentish like Charizard. Oi! But, very over dramatic.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, like over dramatizing the every sentence, but
Yeah, it's like when Woody's being crazy with his silly beliefs. Or shut up, Luigi. I'll put you in Luigi's mansion if that's supposed to be a threat, it's doing the opposite.
I
really
want my
enjoy-
baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back. I want my baby back, baby back. Chili's baby back ribs.
Barbecue!
Sauce.
Memory is so pathetic that they won't question it and just move right along with the rest of the film. But hey, don't take my word for it. Take theirs.
And Bo didn't have a lot of screen time in the earlier films. We didn't even see her at all in 3. We knew it was important to set up who she is, what she looks like.
The very two things that are undeniably different from her presence in the first 2 movies. How very interesting. Okay, back to the plot. Arcee's about to commit the big die, and the toys need to save him. So what ingenious plan are they going to implement to save the day? I'm not sure. Let's find out. The first step is to order the sheep, whose names are apparently Billy, Goat, and Gruff, despite this somehow having never come up at all prior to this point, to raise the blinds. Question. Why? Why did you need the sheep to raise the blinds? The core's literally right there. Why can't you just raise it yourself?
They have names? You never told me that.
You never asked.
Oh, get out of here with this nonsense. No way in the world Woody would not know the name of Bo Peep's sheep. How could that information have never come up at all? Like, I don't know, maybe when she needed to command her sheep to stop wrestling with Rex's controller, all she had to do was whistle to get them to back up, but that seemed like a pretty good time for her to call out their names. No way you show Woody and Bo pulling off this intricate plan with perfect execution and teamwork, while simultaneously trying to get me to believe that he doesn't know the name of her sheep. No way Bo never called out their names at any point in the past decade that she was in this house with the other toys. No way you have a shot literally seconds after this where Woody and Bo's mom...
Or what if he just didn't remember, because who gives a fuck? You know, like, that's... Really has so much on his fucking mind, and
Yeah,
it's
don't
an easy
remember their names.
thing to forget.
If both people here now told me their names, I'd go like, I didn't know their names.
I mean, I knew the names. I could have told you before hearing that, but
Is that Billy, bitch? Wheelhouse. Jasmine.
are so in sync that they both simultaneously say
Operation Pull Toy.
meaning that these two not
Yes.
only have a catalog of operations already thought out ahead of time for a variety of situations should a toy ever be in trouble, but that they were able to both immediately and simultaneously come to the conclusion of
Operation Pull Toy.
and yet Woody doesn't know the name of her sheep. Gee, it's almost as if they never had names prior to this point, and the writers just invented them to make Woody seem like he doesn't care
can we
about
talk
them
about
later.
how fucking dumb they looked in the first one as well? They look terrifying in the first movie.
The real reason is Woody just didn't know and care.
Yeah, because who does?
On in this movie or something stupid like that. So then Operation Pull Toy begins proper as Slinky enlists for duty, and then Bo turns to the Barbie dolls and gets them in a position for what I can only describe as the most pointless Rube Goldberg machine in history. I'm going to run you through the logistics of how this all goes down, and then we'll sit down and have a chat about it. First, the Barbie dolls perform gymnastics to get on top of the dresser. Then, Ness picks up an armadillo as the descending divas pass a book entitled The Very Unique Unicorn over their heads and onto the shelf. Ness tosses the armadillo into position directly underneath the book, so maybe it's a fulcrum for a newly formed seesaw. Jesse stands on one side as the load, and then the three Barbies jump in perfect unison onto the opposite side as the effort force, thus successfully launching Jesse up to the latch on the window, allowing the other toys to open it up fully. Now, this sequence looks pretty cool when you watch it for the first time, but then you actually think about it for 5 seconds and you realize that it's all completely pointless. The end objective of this plan is to open up the window so the toys can get outside and rescue RC without the humans seeing them. So why don't you just stack Jesse on top of Buzz and then unlock the window? They planned to do that exact thing in Toy Story of Terror when they were all...
Okay, I see where you're coming from, but again, we gotta remember all movies do this. It's hard to explain, but they just do this thing, and it literally is just supposed to be something fun, you know. So again, I don't see this as an issue like at all, but fair enough.
stuck in the glass cabinet. Jesse was going to rescue Woody so the two of them could stack on top of each other and turn the handle to free the toy.
Yeah, but in that, they didn't have any fucking obstacles to climb up.
Yeah.
That is literally completely different. That's such a shit example.
It is the easiest solution to this problem that could be achieved within seconds. But for some stupid reason, you have to get literally every single toy in this room involved in this insane plan to open the window. Why? Why have you devised such a convoluted plan when there are infinitely easier options available to you? You realize this is a joke, right? Like an actual joke that other shows use to make you laugh?
There must be some trick to opening this case. A latch or some way to twist it or... Or we can hit it with a rock. Yeah, that works.
Seriously, what was the point of any of this? All you had to do was just form a toy ladder and unlock the latch. We see you do that exact thing later in this movie. Every second counts when RC is fighting to stay alive. Why are you choosing the most complicated way to do things? And wait a minute, Molly has 3 Barbie dolls in this movie, but by the time we get to Toy Story 3, we're down to just 1. So when Molly shoots...
So,
Yeah, and you want to know what this scene fucking shows? Her getting rid of some. So wouldn't that imply that she probably got rid of the others? And we don't even see if those others still are here in this scene anyway. And this is years later.
yeah.
Again, another shit point.
into angsty teen mode when she was too old for toys anymore. She apparently decided that having 3 Barbies was no longer cool, but just 1 Barbie? Now that's classy. Seriously, you expect me to believe that the angsty teen who's too cool for toys took the time to only donate or throw away 2 Barbies, but not this one? Previously, we were left to assume that Molly simply forgot about her because she was tucked away behind a xylophone. But now, thanks to this stupid movie, we know that she had to consciously choose to only get rid of 2 Barbies, but still hold on to one of them, which is absurd. Thanks, Toy Story 4. We're only 2 minutes into this movie and you've already punched a hole in Toy Story 3. Awesome. I certainly hope this doesn't become a pat.
It hasn't though. It's not an issue, bro. But
Yeah, God.
fair enough.
For the rest of this film. Whatever, the window is now open and it's time to jump right into the action and rescue RC since he is literally struggling for survival in every second count. Nope, Woody and Bo, we're gonna take a solid 6 seconds to just stare into each other's eyes. What are you doing? RC is about to be swept away and lost to the storm forever. What are you doing right now? Why are you just sitting around twiddling your thumbs? Every second counts while he is still out there in the storm. Why are Buzz and Jesse not yelling at Woody to get off his ragdoll rear end and do something? What is happening in this scene? Does anybody actually care about RC? Or do you just want to take the extra second to show off the rain dripping from the freshly opened window to flex your graphical fidelity some more? Gee, I sure hope these precious seconds don't make things way harder for you than they otherwise would have been. So then Woody finally jumps out the window and... Huh. Would you look at that? The same music that played during the climax.
That's cool. They're reusing old epic music from Toy Story. What is wrong with that?
What is the problem here?
Also, this is such a stupid point when I forgot the guy's name, but the guy who makes the Toy Story music literally made new ones for this movie that we hear later on. So it's not a case of them being fucking lazy because they literally made new ones. They just wanted to reuse cool ones. Like this just isn't a fucking point.
Toy Story 2. Nah, I'm sure it's nothing. On with the film. The plot is what matters, and I gotta be honest, it's doing great so far. I mean, just look at this gorgeous rain as it collides against the driveway. Wait, driveway? There's a driveway on the left side of the house? Why is there a driveway on the left side of the house? This did not exist in the original movies. This could not be more blatantly obvious. How did you think you were gonna get away with this? What, are you gonna try to tell me that they built a new driveway after Toy Story 2? Yeah, that'd be great if there weren't clear...
Yes, I am going to, because again, it's not like a driveway is going to take 100 years to fucking build.
The thing is, was it there in Toy Story 3 though? Because then that would imply that they made a driveway and then got rid of it.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Let's see if you address
For
it.
shots in
Probably
Toy Story 3 that demonstrated quite explicitly that this driveway didn't even exist when Andy was 17 years old, meaning that the only way this makes any sense at all is if they paved this driveway between movies and then scraped it up before Toy Story 3 happened, despite the fact that during the time...
Best point you've made so far, my friend. That is actually weird. That's clearly... Yeah, that is just a mistake they made. I agree.
I just thought that was the street.
But yeah, that is the first genuine problem.
First
so far.
continuity error.
The first one, 16 minutes in.
this flashback takes place in, this family only has one car, and that would be kept in the garage since Andy still isn't old enough to drive at this point. And it makes no sense to take away extra space before you add a second car to your arsenal. Or in other words, the excuse that they may have built a new driveway between films doesn't work. Are you telling me you forgot the geography of Andy's house? You forgot the basic geography of Andy's house? How did that happen? This is all digital. It's all 3D models stored on your computer. Just go back and look at the old movies. Look at your old scene files. How do you screw up this badly? Or are you telling me that you are actually fully cognizant of the geographical discrepancy and you just try to gaslight the audience again by tricking them into believing this?
No, it was a fucking mistake, my friend. I don't know why
Huge
he's
stupid mistake, but a mistake nonetheless.
I don't know why he's trying to say that they did this on purpose to gaslight people. Like, that's just no. I just don't agree.
Driver was always here. Sure would be awkward if that were the case, but whether the writers are stupid or malicious with their intentions here, this contradiction is still a problem either way. You're welcome to take your pick. So Bo Peep grabs Slinky's butt, and Woody holds onto his head as the two work together to try to pulling out a string for Slink to grab onto. RC is just barely out of reach, meaning his fate has been sealed and he's about to be swept away into the storm drain and lost to Pennywise forever. Yeah, it's almost like you shouldn't have been wasting time by wobbling around like a confused penguin and choosing the slowest possible plans for accomplishing your task and staring into Bo's eyes like a starving puppy dog while your friend was being swept away to his death. Wait a minute, why did Buzz even need to be here? Why did Woody bother bringing him along? He hasn't done anything since they got to Molly's room except ask,
How do we reach him?
he's just standing there like a useless cabbage. Jesse's holding the flashlight and Bo's holding on to Slinky, but Buzz isn't doing squat. Wait, how did Woody even know to call Slinky to Molly's room if he didn't decide on Operation Poltroy until well after he got there? Sure, it's convenient that you brought him along, or else that would have been even more time that you wasted going back across the hall to get Slinky. Oh, whatever, RC's gone anyway, what does it matter? But wait, it's not over yet, as just when Woody thinks all is lost, he suddenly sprung forward the exact distance he needed to be sprung in order to grab hold of RC, and it is revealed that's because Bo attached a chain of monkeys to Slinky's tail? What the? What? This is doesn't. How did you? What? Alright, look, you might think it's insane to get this hung up over the chain of monkeys, but RC's survival literally depends on the functionality of this chain. If this chain of monkeys weren't used in the scene, he'd have been swept away and lost forever. It is imperative that this plan runs logically, and without any exaggeration, there are approximately 5 different reasons why this whole scene has just fallen apart at the seams. It was already barely hanging on, but this just pushed it over the edge. So let's take each problem one by one. First of all, there is absolutely no way that they could have possibly assembled the monkeys in time. Aside from the fact that we don't see the barrel the monkeys would have had to come out of anywhere in the room when they first enter it, and aside from the fact that we don't even see the barrel anywhere near the dresser after Operation Poltroy is successfully completed, the barrel of monkeys was always...
Yeah, this is kind of fair. I mean, let's be real. Realistically, they would not have had enough time to attach those many of the barrel monkeys to Slinky and it perfectly get to RC, and for them to not fuck it up, and for not one of the monkeys to just detach and then Slinky's fucked as well, and Woody's out there. That's a fair point. But again, it's a movie, and it's obviously gonna do stuff like that, as we've already demonstrated. Let's not act like the old movies didn't do shit like this. So, yeah, it just is what it is. Oh, okay, yeah, like look at Toy Story 2 in the plane scene. Realistically, would he be able to perfectly attach his like voice box, what are they called, his fucking pull string, to the thing that perfectly fit the ring for him to fucking glide off of the plane and live?
You know how
it's just as ridiculous.
You know how they like escaped taking those mini airport cart thingies? I don't know what the fuck they're called, but there's like a scene where you can see.
Yeah,
them.
Exactly.
They would have been caught by the police.
The old movies do the same shit.
Yeah, so.
And it's even more ridiculous in that, because this is just as simple as going from a fucking window to a driveway. Before, it was a fucking plane.
Also,
so I don't want to hear that this fourth movie does it, when Toy Story 2 did it even more crazy. I'm not saying Toy Story 2 is bad, I'm just saying by this guy's logic, Toy Story 2 should be criticised for the exact same problem.
Honestly, if we're gonna go by this, you can say that the ending of Toy Story 3 is bullshit as well, with the aliens controlling the giant plane.
Yeah, exactly. That's even more crazy. And not only that, in Toy Story 1, Woody and Buzz literally flew in the fucking sky.
Yeah.
So And so this is actually the least ridiculous thing out of all the things I named. So I don't wanna I don't wanna fucking hear that.
Yeah. And no one gets pissed off about those scenes, do they? So.
Just some police sirens outside. But oh, they're gonna catch us, Glade.
Oh dear.
But the fourth movie was the least ridiculous one if we're talking about action scenes like this. So again, also fucking hell, will you charge, you piece of shit?
It's always something.
So again, I think this is a terrible point because if we're gonna bring this up, that means the other movies have it even worse. And again, I don't see it as an issue, but this guy should. So yeah, this.
Andy's toy. He was always the one who actually played with them, meaning that the barrel would be in Andy's room. Meaning that what would have had to occur in the literal 3 seconds between Bo gasping in fear and Woody springing forward is that one of the toys ran all the way back across the hall, dug around Andy's room to find the barrel of monkeys, and then ran all the way back to Molly's room just to assemble the chain. There's no.
Again, I agree, but I guess the other movies don't make sense either then, eh? If we're going by this, so
Way that could have possibly happened. This movie is full of baloney. Second, even if we assume that this is a different barrel of monkeys so that Andy got bored of playing with them and gave them to Molly, heck, even if we give him maximum benefit of the doubt and assume that the barrel was somehow close enough to them, despite being nowhere in this shot, that they were able to almost immediately summon it to their position and pour all the monkeys out of the barrel, they still only had 3 seconds to assemble approximately 30 monkeys into a chain. If you don't think this is utterly ridiculous,
yeah,
then by all means.
the monkeys literally are alive, you know. All the toys are alive, so they probably already formed together, and just yeah.
You know, it's always a possibility that Operation Toy includes the monkeys in case, and one of the toys ran out to get them, just in case.
Yeah, I mean, listen to what it's fucking called, Operation Toy. That's trying to save toys from areas and shit. And obviously the barrel of monkeys would be very useful for shit like this. So they probably, again, we don't even exactly know what Operation Toy is. What if the barrel of monkeys was a backup plan,
Exactly.
which it clearly was.
Yeah, I would prefer if the movie made that more obvious, but it's still there.
Like, to be honest, if this guy's analysed it so much, how hasn't he come to this conclusion? Because it took us 3 minutes. Like, he should have thought of this. Like, if he's deeply analysing everything, which he clearly is, why didn't he think of this?
Just fall back on if it isn't said in the film, then it isn't there.
So stupid. It's like, it's all movies, they don't overdo and over-explain fucking everything. That will just suck the fun out of it. And it will just be a necessary filler, like. Again, I think this is another stupid point, but...
Prove me wrong. Go get a barrel of monkeys, dump them out onto the floor, and...
They're toys. In the Toy Story movie, the toys are fucking alive, like we know. Obviously, I can't do that in real life. You wanna know why? Because if I fucking go on eBay and buy a barrel of fucking monkeys, I highly doubt they're gonna be alive. I'm pretty fucking sure they're just gonna be a barrel of monkey toys from the fucking 80s or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
Like, yes, in real life, that would take fucking forever to do, and you'd probably drop all of them out the window, and you'd be so pissed. All of them would be scattered around your garden. But they assembled themselves. They attached their limbs to each other to help, okay? So no, we can't do that, but the barrel of monkeys can, because they're fucking alive.
But look at we're talking about living barrels of monkeys.
We fucking brought it up, and I mean, this is ridiculous. Anyway, we're talking about toys who are alive saving other toys with barrel monkeys. Like, obviously, it's going to be a little bit hard to fucking believe. No shit. What? Think about what we're talking about here. We're talking about toys being alive and fucking talking and saving other toys. Like, so yes, Toy Story doesn't make sense.
At Mario for having floating blocks because they can't reel.
Yeah, it's fucking hell, man. But like, yes, I'm pretty sure if I buy barrel monkeys, I'll just drop them all out the window. So Yeah.
if you can assemble 30 of them into a chain in 3 seconds all by yourself. Let me save you the trouble. You can't. You can't do that. There's no way. The clock will
No.
not run out before you can even assemble a third of these things. And if you can assemble this chain in that amount of time, then you might want to contact the Avengers. I hear they've recently had a position become available for the Quicksilver replacement. And before you try to tell me
Yeah,
that
I'm
there
gonna
could have
go to the Avengers and say I can assemble a barrel of fucking monkeys in 3 seconds. I'm gonna defend the fucking world from Thanos level threats because I can assemble my barrel of fucking monkeys toy I bought from eBay.
You basically have the power of like, like imagine you create like a Lego character who has no powers, but you say he's a superhero because he is. You know what his special power would be? Making shit out of Lego really fast. That's basically what it is.
But again, guys, just so we're all aware, no, if you buy barrel monkeys, you can't assemble all of them in 3 seconds and dangle them out the top of your fucking window. No, that you can't do that.
That would
And
be
he-
an interesting episode of Jackass.
And again, even if you did manage to, one fucking little limb would probably detach and the whole thing would fucking fall.
Smash on the floor. And
So-
they'll scatter all over your garden.
So, no, that's not possible. But in the context of the fucking Toy Story movies, they're toys and they all can easily attach themselves to each other probably in that fucking time. Okay, it's not that fucking believable, man. It's just not. It's that's not that unbelievable if we're talking about the Toy Story movie context. Obviously, in real life, if someone told me they could do that, I would shit in their face. But no. So yes, that's my analysis on the barrel of the fucking monkeys. I never even thought of these fuckers in Toy Story, but now I've had to. Well, there was a barrel of fucking red little monkey fuckers.
They're fine monkey.
You know.
more than one person assembling the chain, look at who's available to help in this scene. Jessie is holding the flashlight on Woody, and since the light never flickers, we know she couldn't have been helping to assemble it. Bo also could not have been helping, since if she stops fondling Slinky's butt for even a single second, the plan is ruined and all 3 toys are lost to the storm forever. The armadillo wasn't going to do diddly squat given its anatomy. The sheep are stuck on the floor, Ness is over on the bed, and if the Barbies had helped assemble the chain, then they would be up on the dresser with everyone else, since they would have had to be right next to Slinky to help attach it when they finished. Meaning the only toy here that would be even remotely capable of stringing this together would be Buzz. But in spite of how competent and capable he has been throughout the original trilogy, he's not Dash. He can't do a Guido pit stop and assemble this thing in 3 seconds. This movie is full of baloney. Third, even if we give the very, very generous assumption that the monkeys psionically knew that their presence in the scene would single-handedly save RC's life and self-assemble themselves into a chain so that all Buzz would have had to do was attach it to Slinky, how would they have ever had the room to do this? Hooking the last monkey in the chain would be easy enough because you just have to get it over the top of this dresser while the rest of them could dangle down ready to be flung out the window. But Bo's crook is hooked onto the very back of the chain, meaning that she somehow made her way all the way to the back of the chain to grab hold of it. But again, she can't lose hold of Slinky or else the plan fails. And there isn't enough room in this desk for this extensive chain to fit, especially since these things don't wrap around each other very neatly, meaning you couldn't coil them around on the desk without risking breaking the chain or getting them all tangled up. So there is absolutely no way they had enough room to make the switch. This movie is full of baloney. Fourth,
Does he not fucking know that they're alive? Like, does he think they're just objects? No, they count as toys, I'm pretty sure. So, yes, they can do that themselves. Also, this is proven because in Toy Story 1, they attack Woody when they're fucking ordered to do so by Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah.
So we know they're fucking live. And we know how they can easily move and literally assemble together because it happened in the first movie.
Should have had the army men there to help.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I mean, what they have done?
I don't know. They could have been the fuckers like who had the monkeys out in case something happened.
True.
Rather quick.
Also, they're fucking soldiers. They should have been in this. That would have been cool.
we assume that they figured out some magic way to fit this thing on the desk without breaking the chain. How the hell did Bo have enough strength to hold onto this chain? The film makes this seem like an incredibly fluid transition, but really think about the implications here. Think about what would have had to occur for this stunt to work. Slinky
I'm not able
Dog
to
is
watch
a
that scene
spring
again now.
toy. When you extend a Slinky, mechanical energy is stored up within the coil due to the resistance against the force of you pulling apart
God.
the coils.
Fucking
And when
hell.
you let go of the Slinky, what happens again? Oh yeah, it goes flying in the opposite direction because the mechanical energy that you just stored up is now released from the spring and it snaps back to its compressed state. Now, with all that in mind, think about it in the context of this scene. In order to create this extension, Bo has to attach the monkeys, hook her crook onto the last monkey in the chain, and then push Slinky's rear end out the window so Woody can get the extra reach he needs in order to grab onto RC, since Slinky wouldn't know that he has to move his butt forward when his head is all the way out here and he can't communicate with the people in the window. Slinky is being stretched out as far as he can possibly go without any extra forces at play. And do you remember what happened the last time we were in a situation like this? Forces at play. And do you remember what happened the last time we were in a situation like this? The instant Bo lets go of Slinky and nudges him out.
That's completely different though, because he wasn't. It clearly wasn't as fucking far enough because he didn't stretch out that much. And also in this one, he had Woody to fucking pull him. But in that, it's just momentum isn't gonna work the fucking same. So he's not gonna be pushed back because he wasn't stretched out enough. If you get what I'm saying. Because that one, Woody was pushing him fucking like outwards. But in that, it was different. It was him. There wasn't something pulling him away from it. It was only him pushing himself away. So there was nothing to do that. The video. So
Ah,
so
excellent.
yeah, that's if you get you might not get what I mean, but yeah, that's what I say.
The window. The mechanical energy that was stored in his coils is going to be instantly released as his rear end races to reunite with his front. Bo's
Also, that was way fucking further from the fucking truck in
Yeah,
Toy
that's
Story
like
4.
across the street.
Yeah, so
been ripped right out of her hands and been sent flying across the yard if she's lucky. Worst case scenario is her whole body is yanked out the window and she falls to her death and is smashed into a million tiny pieces. Since she is an incredibly fragile porcelain doll, this movie is full of baloney. Fifth, even if we throw any and all logic completely out the window and assume that Bo is actually strong enough to resist this spring and remain firmly planted in the windowsill, Woody should have been flung way further than he actually was. We don't exactly have the means to measure the exact distance
Woody
between
just
these
goes
2 points, but if you were going to tell me with a straight
And his
face that
head
this
rolls up.
distance is in any way equivalent to this distance, then please excuse me while I cackle uncontrollably. Woody should have been whipped right past RCA and into the flower bed. Or in other words, this movie is completely full of baloney. But believe it or not, we're not done with the stupidity just yet, because now that Woody is safely secured at RC, he needs to get him back into the house. How is he going to accomplish that task, you may ask? Well, he doesn't have much time to think because a surprise car pulls up to the house out of nowhere. And so Bo pulls back the chain of monkeys, causing Woody and RC to crash against the side of the house. And wait, what? How? How did you do that? Did you inject steroids into your porcelain veins between Toy Story 2 and now? How are you this strong? How are you able to pull Slinky, Woody, the entire chain of monkeys, and the single heavy...
Yeah, those monkeys definitely weigh a fucking ton, don't they? Each monkey is definitely a fucking pound. So yeah, she had to fucking carry like 30 pounds worth of fucking monkeys. I'm pretty fucking sure that she would have been able to, but
Even then, I feel like the others could have just helped her anyway.
yeah.
toy Andy owns all the way back towards the house. Even if you are somehow strong enough to yank a motorized vehicle towards you, how did you mechanically pull this off without sending yourself flying backwards off the shelf and plummeting to your death? Even if you do have the strength to pull this off, that means you pulled back so hard that the monkeys would have to be sent flying back into Molly's room. And since the doorway is directly behind you,
The
I wouldn't be
monkeys are
surprised if even
everywhere.
some of them made it into the hallway. The film wants you to think the monkeys just disappeared into thin air after Bo pulled the chain backwards, but that's not how anything works. The monkeys must have fallen behind her when she pulled everyone out of the driveway, so how in the world did nobody hear them clattering against the floor? If it were just one monkey, that'd be one thing, but there's about 30 of these things linked in this chain. If you dumped out a barrel of 30 monkeys onto a tiled floor, you can bet that it's going to make a very loud
Holy
noise that there's no way at least one person at the dinner table downstairs wouldn't hear, or at the very least, they definitely see the
I highly fucking doubt they would have even heard it, to be honest. Like, what material though? Are they probably like just simple fucking plastic and they're tiny as hell? Well, that's funny, they're just everywhere on the floor. Like, fucking hell.
Slinkies scattered all over the place in the very next scene when they walk into the room. Unless, of course, they just teleported out of the scene. Where did they go? Where are all the monkeys?
Probably in the barrel.
Where did their barrel go? Wait a minute.
They
You
probably
pulled the chain
picked the
back
bar up.
far enough to lose
Yeah,
all the
exactly.
monkeys, but just short enough so that Slinky's butt would land exactly on the windowsill where it was previously? What? What is happening right now? What is the scene? None of this makes any sense. Who wrote this? But nonetheless, the worst of it is finally over. RC has been successfully retrieved, and so now all the toys have to do is pull up Slinky's coil and get everyone back inside the house. Wait, how the heck did Woody get RC back inside when he was holding onto him from above? Do you people understand how heavy this toy is? Oh, whatever, it's fine. So whatever. Okay, well, Operation Pull Toy's over. Let's just get back inside the house and hope this movie's plot can return to a sense of normalcy.
Slinkies aren't fucking heavy. They don't weigh shit. Now, I get their fucking toys and everything, but still, most of Slinky is the fucking spring, which is like nothing.
Yeah.
I
Kind of hard to tell how strong each toy is, though.
yeah, it is fucking hard though. I already know now he's about to complain about some other shit. So.
Can I get, like, a 1 minute break? We're only 3 minutes into this stupid movie, and there's barely been a single second that there wasn't broken in some capacity. Okay, so while Bo was giving Woody the fork boy eyes, this joke will make sense later, I promise, Andy's mom waddled into the room with a visitor who showed up unexpectedly during Operation Pull Toy and turns on the light switch, promptly shutting the window on Woody moments later. How did Andy's mom not see Bo peering her head out the window when she turned the light on? How did she not see Buzz or Jesse standing next to her? Why were none of the toys keeping watch in case someone stuck up on them like this? How didn't they hear?
It's very simple why she didn't see Bo. She just fucking didn't. And what if she was talking to the guy so she wasn't looking forward at the fucking window?
Well, so your immediate thought when you see something by a window isn't that it's alive.
Yeah, like,
You know, like
I think most of these are just so easily fucking debunked, and it's not an issue, like, at all.
Andy's mom or the visitor walking up the steps. How did they not notice their presence until this very moment? Did they not talk to each other at all until they actually got to Molly's room? And if you were going to try to tell me, oh, well, the window was open, so the footsteps would have been drowned out by the rainstorm outside, then I will simply invert the audio problem, and this time we'll try it from the other
Daffy
way.
fuck!
If you believe that the rainstorm would have been so loud outside that they would not have been able to hear the humans walking upstairs, then why in the world did nobody notice a sudden change in audio levels when the toys opened the window and go upstairs from the dinner table to see what was going on? Either the storm is loud enough to mask the sound of human footsteps, meaning the family should have noticed something was wrong and gone upstairs to shut it earlier, or it's quiet enough for them not to notice, meaning that the toys should have been able to hear the footsteps. This doesn't work no matter how you slice it. Actually, wait a minute. How doesn't Andy's mom find it at all odd that the window's open anyway? She just walks into the room and casually shuts the window as if it's a totally normal occurrence, but this doesn't make any sense. Molly literally isn't tall enough to reach this window, and even if she was, or she used something else as a stepping stool to reach it, what motivation does she think Molly would have even had to open?
Now, that is a good point, but again, I just don't think she was thinking about that at the time because her mind was already on something else, and she was like, "Oh, why the fuck is it open?" and then closed it.
yeah.
That is most likely what it is. So.
Put it in the first place. Molly's right there. Why didn't you ask why the window was open during a rainstorm? If I were her and I walked into my daughter's room and saw the window wide open in this ravenous storm, the first thing I'd ask is, why in the world is your window open? And then when she tells me that she didn't open it up, it would prompt some curiosity as to how exactly it got open, which leads me to my next point. Andy's mom closes the window on Slinky's coil. Half of his body is still dangling outside in the storm while his rear end just sits on the windowsill and she acts as if this is totally normal? How does she not see his butt? How did she not feel compelled to glance outside the window to see what was going on with his other half? How does this window even close properly at all when there would still be a part of Slinky's coil preventing it from shutting all the way? My point here is that there are way too many problems with this window situation for her to not stop and wonder what in the world is happening in this room. And the fact that the toys weren't caught when Bo was fully alive and moving around in full view of the doorway is absolutely absurd. Who wrote this silly string script? Moving on, it turns out that the visitor is only briefly stopping by to pick up Bo Peep, as Molly says that she doesn't need it anymore and wishes to donate it to this man. Question, why did they schedule this lamp donation meeting for dinner time? Andy's mom must know when the family's gonna eat dinner. Why would she schedule...
Do you know how late most things are? What if she didn't? What if she just... It's usually not an exact time. It's between hours. And it just came doing that. I can't with this guy.
So close to this time. Was there no better point in the day for her to do this? And if they're already finished eating, then good lord, that was the fastest meal in the West. Also, his mom only grabs Bo Peep and the lamp, but not the sheep. which are presumably still down on the floor, and walks off without them, and yet they still show up in the box moments later. Awesome. I guess the sheep can teleport now. Why not? So after everyone leaves, Buzz pulls the rest of Slinky back up into the room and then notices that Woody's mysteriously not holding on to Slinky anymore. Yet despite the fact that Slinky would obviously know where Woody went since he would have had to drop past his head to leave, he chooses not to tell Buzz this and instead looks around with concern along with the others like a confused pigeon. But it's whatever, I guess. The man takes the box back to his car but then makes the unfortunate discovery that he can't put it in his trunk because he doesn't have his keys? What? How? How did you lose your keys? You were in that house for 2 minutes at most, and even that.
Simple solution. He's a fucking idiot. That is odd though, the fuck. I never even noticed that.
Is a very generous assumption to make when it took less than a minute of screen time for
I mean,
you to
this
leave
movie
your
has a lot
car,
of
get the
bullshit
box, and then
recipes.
return to your car. Why did you take your keys out of your pockets for a visit that took no more than a minute or two? How did you lose your keys? And before you say, maybe they fell out to that, I say no. His first instinct when trying to unless there's a hole in them. So he would have had to voluntarily take them out of his pocket and leave them on a table somewhere in the house. And the kids and their mom would have either had to be cunning enough or inattentive enough to not tell the man about the keys he left on their table. Neither of which would be within their personalities that were established in the original movies. And if you think it's ridiculous for me to be spending this much time talking about this, then I cannot understate enough that him losing his keys is what allows this box scene to happen. A scene that is absolutely critical for this story is only able to occur due to the insane idea that this man lost his keys out of his jean pocket after being in a house for 2 minutes or less. Who wrote this? Anyway, Woody stealthily pulls the box underneath the car and opens it up, urging Bo Peep to follow him back inside before the keyless wonder comes back to take her away. But to his absolute bewilderment and the utter shock of the audience, Bo says nah. Woody is understandably gobsmacked by this turn of events and attempts to appeal to the fact that her staying is what would be best for Andy, but she responds by saying,
I'm not Andy's toy.
which is a very strange thing to say considering how often we've seen Andy play with her in the past. So whether she technically belongs to Molly or Andy doesn't really matter at all. But even if this weren't the case, even if we say that Andy never played with her at all, the next words out of her mouth are even more baffling.
It's time for the next kid.
What? It's time for the next kid? Really? You're perfectly willing to just leave, just like that? You don't even want to say goodbye to your friends? Do you not care about them at all? Buzz? Jesse? The other toys in Molly's room who appear to at least have some level of respect for you since you were able to effortlessly command them as their leader? Nobody? You just decided that the day you got put in a box was the day you were going to proceed to stop giving us slinkies behind about your friends? And if you want to say, well, she only really cared about Woody, which obviously isn't true based on what happens later in this film, so it makes total sense that she only wanted to say goodbye to him. The only reason she had this goodbye scene with Woody is because Woody dropped down to desperately try to get her to stay. Had he been pulled back up into the room, Bo would have been perfectly content to leave Andy's house forever without even so much as saying goodbye to the friend she spent her entire life with up until this point. Also, I think it's worth noting that I find the director's commentary for this scene very interesting.
To make sure that every single moment, every single link and hail was for a reason, while reading kind of across from one shot to the next.
Yeah, so in this scene, we got Tom Hanks and Annie Potts together, and we actually recorded them at the same time, facing each other and delivering these lines. Having them experience that kind of breakup in the room together and work through it would be more effective.
All they're talking about is the work that went into the voice acting and visual presentation of this scene. In fact, now that I think about it, they actually had a similar diatribe about this stuff earlier.
Yeah, the effects department worked really close with the lighting department on the look of this rain, exaggerate the shape of the drops, and to really kind of feel the scale of this rain for a toy.
It's all focused on the visual splendor. Interesting. I wonder if I'm highlighting this for a wider point that I'm going to be making later. Well, if I am, then you might want to remember this just in case. But we're going to have to table this discussion for a while because something of monumental stupidity is about to occur. So Bo tempts Woody, not a great way to start the sentence, but whatever, by saying that
Kids lose their toys every day. Sometimes they get left in the yard or put in the wrong box.
meaning that she wants Woody to come with her, and her sheep take a few steps back to further drive that idea into your heads because apparently the writers didn't think the audience would pick up on what they were insinuating by Bo's word choice alone. Then, and I kid you not, Woody puts his hands on the box and starts to climb in with Bo. He wants to leave Annie's house with Bo Peep. What? What do you mean he wants to leave Annie's house with Bo freaking Peep? I am not lying to you right now. This actually happens in the movie. Woody considers abandoning his friends and his kid to be with Bo Peep. Absolutely not. buzz off, you stupid movie. I don't even know where to begin with this one. Okay, let's start with the other toys. Do you remember this scene from the end of Toy Story 2?
When it all ends, I'll have old Buzz Lightyear to keep me company for infinity and beyond.
Yeah, well, apparently that meant approximately diddly-do because he was about to abandon Buzz, Jesse, Slink, Rex, Ham the Potato Heads, Bullseye, and Jesse. Buzz Lightyear. He was gonna leave his best friend, the Space Ranger he promised to be with for infinity and beyond, all because Woody finally lived up to his namesake when he saw Bo make room for him to come inside. Get out of here.
What are your thoughts on that one?
Well. You're kind of right there, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He is. I'll give credit where credit is due.
There's the fucking driveway that shouldn't even exist. There's the fact that that guy just had his keys in that house, even though he was there for only a minute. And now there's this.
These are the 3 points that I actually think of, right?
Yeah, these are the 3 like big ones.
But yeah, what the fuck? Why did we try to go there? Well, he clearly was not thinking straight at all. Does he seriously know that fucking much?
Yeah, I mean, he's tempted to, but he doesn't go.
True. Yeah, he doesn't know that going, but he did think of it, but... Alright, that's fair, that's fair.
That garbage, you absolute hack writers. But that's not even mentioning the fact that Woody was about to abandon Andy, his favorite toy, his cowboy doll. The only toy in his collection that he instinctively hesitated to give away to Bonnie at the end of Toy Story 3.
Bonnie? Now, don't you start. Bonnie, you're in the movies. Shut the fuck up, I will kill you. Whoa, calm down, Bonnie.
Barney's just mad at me because I left her.
Well, remember, wait, Barney never acknowledged you, Woody, and he hates you here. Oh, God, what's Barney's beef with Woody? You need a sheriff.
We love each other.
Yes, I would rather play with fucking Dolly. Barney,
No, in Toy Story 4, instead of Dolly, it should have been had a neighbor. That would have made everything perfect.
Fucking hell, that's stupid.
Gonna leave him behind. And to be perfectly blunt, there is no timeline where Woody would have ever in a million years chosen to leave Andy for literally any reason. The reason he was willing to go with Bonnie at the end of Toy Story 3, since remember, Andy's plan was to bring him to college, but it was ultimately Woody who snuck inside the box with all the other toys. Woody accepted that Andy was all grown up. He was going off to college and was about to start a whole new life and gain a whole lot of new responsibilities. Woody would have been better served in the care of Bonnie, a girl who expressed the same ebullient joy that he used to see on Andy's face all those years ago. And so he made the hard choice to say so long, partner, to the kid he spent 17 years with and watched him grow into the man he became, ready to bring new memories to a kid who needed him even more. But even then, the one who made the final choice to pass on Woody was Andy. If Andy had chosen to keep Woody with him in college, then he would have gone with him. But the final decision that lands Woody in the care of Bonnie is Andy's. He was passed on with Andy's blessing for Bonnie to take care of. And that is the reason why Woody went with Bonnie at the end of Toy Story 3. Because Andy chose to let Woody go at the same time Woody chose to let Andy go. But at this stage in his life, at a time when Andy is still getting an immeasurable amount of joy playing with Woody, at a time when Andy still needs him to be there for him, at a time that takes place after the events of Toy Story 2, which was a movie that was all about Woody realizing that no matter how tempting an alternative may seem, life's only worth living if you're being loved by a kid, and that
I can't stop Andy from growing up, but I wouldn't miss it for the world.
This is another good point. The whole point of the second movie was him realizing to not do this, and then this scene just makes him nearly fucking do it again.
Yeah, that's a bit iffy.
I agree with that as well. That's stupid.
there is no chance in the world he would have ever gone into that box with Bo Peep. And if you are screaming at me that, but Woody still stays with Eddie at the end of the day, he doesn't actually go with Bo Peep, then you did not pay attention to the scene. The only reason Woody stays is because he sees Andy running out, desperately calling his name looking for him. Had Andy not chosen to run out at this exact moment in time, Woody would have abandoned his friends and his kid. Buzz off, you stupid writers. Who wrote that? What bird brain did you put in charge of this scene? Also, why was Andy even running out of this time? Should he not have been at the dinner table? There's absolutely no way they finished dinner in less than 3 minutes. There's no way Andy would have run back upstairs to play with his toys in the less than 60 seconds it took his mom into the lamp transaction. Not only does that not make any situation, if you are any of these toys, the first thing you're going to think, given the circumstances, is, oh no,
that should have been the plot.
solution. Also, this was a stupid plan just in terms of its functionality in the first place. This dude isn't Al McWiggins. Yes, that is his actual last name. He's just your average guy living his life. Once he got home, opened up the box, the planet for abandoning all his friends, not thinking about the implications of doing so for 5 seconds. And how do I know this man would have returned Woody? Well, outside of the baseline assumption that most human beings are actually quite nice, I have references. Even though the transaction had already been set in motion and agreed upon ahead of time, he still took the time to make doubly sure that Molly would have been fine with donating this lamp. So if he found a toy with Andy's name written on it that he never received permission to take, he would have immediately returned it to their house. This plan is not only completely at odds with Woody's character.
Woody, it might have been in the moment as well. Like, I do still think it's not right, but like, yeah. We know Woody does make a lot of mistakes in the movies, and then like moments after, he's like, "Oh shit, what am I doing?"
Yeah.
You know, like the second movie, because that was literally all about him abandoning Andy. But then he was like, "What am I doing?" So that could have easily happened, and when he saw Andy, he was probably like, "Oh, I can't beat Andy." Like, but again, I don't think they should have included that because the whole second movie is literally about him not doing that shit anymore. But yeah.
As established by the original trilogy, but it is fundamentally broken from a perspective of basic logic in that it would have never worked in the first place. So let me ask again, who wrote this? But whatever. When he comes to his senses and realizes that he would never, ever, ever in a million years, for any reason at all, voluntarily choose to abandon his kid as well as his friends. He had a momentary blow of stupidity, but it's all fine now. His character is still intact and it's not in danger of being assassinated. Minutes of this movie, and we're already almost 40 minutes into the video. That is how much is broken already. And with that, the prologue is complete, and good Lord Almighty, what an absolute train wreck. But hey, it was just the opening scene. Hey, to reveal the logo against the bright blue background. Again, how very interesting.
We wouldn't get that nostalgic.
What is the issue? This is Toy Story. Every movie should fucking begin like that. Okay, that is fucking so
Feeling
stupid.
of going back to the original Toy Story films. And the only way you can do that is with Randy Newman's song. Once we put You've Got a Friend in Me up against the visuals, it brought you right back. Same here with this wipe. That's the same way that we wipe on the title of Toy Story in the first film.
Gee, I wonder if I'm highlighting this for a wider point I'm going to be making later. Nah, it's nothing. On with the film. So we watch a montage of Andy playing with Woody as we listen to iconic Randy Newman music in the background, and... Oh my goodness! What is this? What is this abomination on my screen? Because it sure as hell ain't young Andy from the original trilogy, that's for damn sure. And before you tell me it's because technology is more advanced now, of course he's gonna look different as character models become more realistic over the years. Then alright, I'll humor you for a second. Let's take a look back at how the character model of Andy has evolved throughout the series. In 1995, modeling and animating fully 3D human characters wasn't something anyone would have dared to do, except Pixar. But while pulling off such a feat was groundbreaking at the time, their strength was clearly in animating non-human characters, as the fidelity of these humans has certainly not aged well in the slightest. Naturally, this led to a more updated character model in Toy Story 2, and then another update to the model in Toy Story 3 during the brief amount of time that young Andy is on screen. Technology, as well as Pixar's experience with animating humans, had evolved quite significantly in the 4 years between Toy Story 1 and 2, and even more so in the 11 years since 2 and 3. And yet, in spite of their desires to update the models to account for ever-evolving technological capabilities, you can immediately look at all 3 of these models and recognize them as the same character. The hardest pill to swallow in regards to that assertion is undoubtedly the first movie due to the sheer lack of detail here. But there is still a clear and concentrated effort to make sure Andy is still instantly recognizable in spite of the upgraded details between each iteration of the character. No such effort was present in Toy Story 4. They want you to believe that these 2 humans are the same Andy. No, absolutely not. Don't even try. It was very clear that keeping the character design consistent was not at all a priority for the team working on this movie. Then again, maybe you could say that such a thing has never been a priority for them.
We were a little freaked out at first because we weren't planning on building a model of young Andy.
And one that would work in our world.
You know, we made a lot of technological and artistic advances in the 11 years since Toy Story 2. Now we can do humans pretty well. So the challenge on this movie was to make the humans look better, but not have them feel like they were from a completely different movie. A lot of people ask if we updated the models of the main characters in the movie. We did, actually. But hopefully you won't notice it at all. And we did a lot of things under the hood to make the animation easier for the...
I hope a genuine issue he brings up is the fact that they completely made Buzz make no sense, because in the old movie he had an open mouth style when he was in toy mode, and then in the fucking fourth one for some reason he's smiling with his mouth closed.
Yeah.
Like that's something I mean he should notice this with all the over fucking analyzing this.
Yeah, he will.
He better notice that.
Animators, but it was very important to us that they not look different at all.
Oh, well, what do you know? It was something that they used to prioritize during the production process. How about that? Oh, are you wondering what that was? That was the Cinexplore commentary for Toy Story 3 with director Lee Unkrich and producer Darla K. Anderson. They may or may not also be popping up occasionally throughout this video for reasons. I don't even understand how this possibly can get screwed up. Just take the character model that you absolutely still have in your files and drop them into the scene. That's it. How does this happen? How do you get Bonnie to look exactly like she did in Toy Story 3, but not Andy? All the other human character models, including Andy's mom, who is only on screen for a few seconds at most, look like higher quality versions of their former selves, and yet young Andy got shafted in the process somehow. I don't understand how you could possibly solve this unless you deliberately wanted to change his character design, but this time I genuinely have no clue why you would ever want to do that, so let's just chalk this one up to sheer incompetence and move on with our lives. The montage continues with some admittedly impressive cinematography as cleverly placed transitions allow us to progress through Woody's history, from being played with by Andy, to Buzz Lightyear and Jessie coming into the picture, to being lovingly passed on to Bonnie, in one single continuous shot, concluding with a final camera angle focusing in on the underside of Woody's boot, showcasing that Bonnie has written her name on it, signifying the official passing of the torch from Andy to Bonnie. Wait, what?
Yeah,
Bonnie wrote her name on Woody's boot? When did that happen? In the period of time between the end of Toy Story 3 and the start of Toy Story 4, Woody, Buzz, and Jessie go on many different adventures under the care of Bonnie across a variety of short films and TV specials. And during those specials, you can very clearly see that Woody, Buzz, and Jessie all still have Andy's name written on the underside of their boots. I always assumed the reason why Bonnie never painted over with her name was because she wanted to respect that they had originally been Andy's toys that he passed on to her and never gave it a second thought. But now we know that that's a truckload of horse manure, because Bonnie eventually does write her name on not just Woody's boot, but Buzz's as well. Why?
Okay, here's his solution. She didn't ever realize this, and then eventually her parents said it was like, oh, that's a bit weird to have Andy's name on it. Let's just put your name on it.
Yeah.
Very simple solution. And it isn't warranty. What? Well, this doesn't make any sense. But how? Why couldn't this have happened? So, yeah.
She waits so long to paint over Andy's name. What's that? Because maybe she only recently started writing her name on the toys? Well, no, that's not true at all. Because we clearly see in Toy Story that Time Forgot that Trixie has Bonnie's name written on her. And in this same holiday special, we can see that Andy's toys still have Andy's name written on them. And if
Trixie
you're going
is
to tell me that
literally
this
like
minor
an
detail doesn't
OG
affect
Bonnie
anything in this...
As we can see in the beginning, she only had like 5 fucking toys. Also, that's not even the point we made up anyway. We said something different. But someone could also say that. But again, it still can work.
Yeah.
Story that I'm going to tell you to hold on to that thought for now. Keep it very fresh in your brains
Obviously,
to
gonna talk
remember
about
for later. Because for now, it's entirely fair to make these
He's obviously going to
that
bring
Josh
up
Clooney
how Bonnie immediately put the thing on Forky. I know we'll bring that up.
Yeah.
Again, no, this the fucking kid we're talking about. Like, I honestly don't see this.
I didn't watch any of the shorts or TV specials prior to creating Toy Story 4. Except, oh wait, no it's not. Because he had a voice acting role in both the Small Fry short and the Toy Story of Terror Halloween special, and showcases characters in this movie who were present in both the Halloween and Christmas specials, and is fully cognizant of them as evidenced by the director commentary.
You just saw Woody hiding behind Bonnie's Battlesaur's lunchbox. That is a tribute to the TV special Toy Story That Time Forgot.
Yes.
Fine. maybe he didn't pay attention to the script when he recorded
Nice to
this
see
lines
them
and just
from the
poached
camera.
characters from them without thinking about what they previously did. The thing
Epic.
is, whether he forgot the events of the Toy Story universe, which is pathetic if true because he's the man in charge of continuing said universe, or whether he deliberately chose to ignore
Wait,
them,
is he making a new one? I actually don't
I
know.
think so.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure.
Well, I think that's better than getting a new one because I think he did a good job anyway.
Yeah.
So, he's obviously a Toy Story fan. So,
Oh, I can't wait for his video on Toy Story 5.
he's obviously gonna hate it, but yeah.
doesn't really matter. Because either way, for as insignificant as you may think this detail is for the moment, the fact that he has clearly chosen to pretend that those specials don't exist for the sake of having this shot is going to utterly sink the end of this movie. It's going to wreck it beyond repair. The fact that Bonnie consciously chose to keep Annie's name there until years after Toy Story 3 and until just before the events of Toy
Could
Story
be one
4
year.
is going to punch an enormous hole in the credibility of this film's ending. So please.
I doubt Toy Story 4 is years later, as Barney looks the exact same. I think Toy Story 2 and Toy Story 4 are happening in like a year-ish time.
Yeah.
Which does fucking work. I don't want to hear that it doesn't, because there's nothing saying it fucking can't. Because everything looks the same. We already know there's nothing wrong with you. There isn't?
Is like Toy Story 4 set in like 2011 then? Or is it like
Maybe
Toy Story
12. Maybe 12. Yeah, I'm not sure about all that stuff, but like Toy Story 4 at fucking most is 2 years after.
Yeah.
At most. I can't see it being more than that.
Yeah.
The
thing is, it seems to be more, but I can't tell. Does it have like? I'm trying to remember if it has anything that definitely puts it in the late 2010s.
Yeah.
To remember it for later.
Soon.
And thus ends the Randy Newman montage for Toy Story 4, and the movie is finally going to begin proper as we cut to a scene in which all of Bonnie's toys have been temporarily swept into the closet because Bonnie's mom hurriedly cleaned the room, absentmindedly shoving all the toys in there. We get a shot of all the toys getting anxious about being in the closet for a few minutes, which is extremely bizarre since they all spent years in a toy box, never getting to play with what is whatever. Moving on. Among the list of toys that are struggling with temporary closet life is Jessie, who is hyperventilating due to her claustrophobia. And so, naturally, being stuck in a tightly enclosed space is going to... Wait, what is the sweet mother of Abraham Lincoln? Jessie is hyperventilating because she's in the closet? You just... oh my god. How on God's green earth can you claim to love Toy Story with all your heart and then pull something stupid like this? Okay, before I get into why this scene is so beyond frustrating, let's set the scene for a broader issue in regards to characters, shall we? Woody, Buzz, and Jessie, the three heroes of the original trilogy.
Yes.
Their stories were the beating heart and soul of those movies. Their arcs carried the emotional spirit of the trilogy, and their endearing personalities and values are what made them appeal to millions of people all around the world. And
Billions.
Toy Story 4 is going to mercilessly assassinate all three of them. Not in a literal sense, mind you. When I say character assassination, I am referring to the process by which a writer takes a previously established
Headsets
character
blown
and
up.
makes them act in ways that are completely contradictory to the values that they've upheld since their initial introduction.
When I see
Essentially,
that, I just imagine fucking like Phoenix Wright is in court and puts this video in like, oh, they're gonna sue them. This is why the movie's shit. That's what I imagine. Like, it's just fucking Phoenix Wright's in court with a fucker going over why the movie's shit, and they go fucking back and forth. That's what I fucking imagine out of this.
That'll be hilarious.
That's what it is.
portraying who they are as people with no justifiable build-up whatsoever. None of these characters are safe from this man's malice. We are going to be keeping a very close eye on the structural integrity of their characters as we move throughout this video to see if any of them can even maintain 1% of who they used to be by the end of this train wreck. But we are not off to a good start here, folks, because Jessie has already been dealt a significant amount of damage by just this one shot alone. But why is this the case? Well, allow me to explain. From the first seconds that Jessie was introduced to the silver screen, she was highly energetic and raring for adventure. She has never, not once, ever shown any fear in the face of an adventure waiting to be had. She was always extremely spirited, sprightly, and confident in her interactions with other people, and was more than willing to dive headfirst into an adventure. Please remember that for later. She rebels in the confrontation with Woody, actively egging him on when he challenges her, hoping for a fight. When Buster needs to get outside, Jessie immediately springs into action to help him them out. She leads the charge to break everyone out of their cells at Sunnyside, trap Rogue Buzz, and safely escort everyone past the aggressive search beams onto the slide. She confidently stands up to both the manic prospector and tyrannical Lotso when her back is pressed against the wall, and doesn't even hesitate to leap onto the dumpster when Woody is pulled in by Lotso. She is a strong, confident cowgirl who shows no fear in the face of danger.
Fucking
But
hell.
even the bravest of
God, do you
adventurers
wanna
aren't
marry
immune
her?
to their most
Fucking hell.
crippling of phobias. And in Jesse's case, it's claustrophobia. Crippling, mentally destructive claustrophobia that would completely paralyze her were she ever to find herself in a space that was even remotely enclosed. Because for many years, Woody was to Andy as Jesse was to Emily. A kid that
Oh
loved
my
her
God, I
cowgirl
fucking
doll
know
with
this.
all her heart as they did everything.
For how many shitting years, and obviously she's going to be nervous to go in a closet because she's going to bring her back to her old fucking memories of when she was with Emily, because that slowly started to happen. So I don't want you to say she got over her fear. You don't just fucking get over it. You're always
No.
gonna have it. Like, I know in Wood in the Tombs she goes in that box, but that doesn't mean her fear is just absolutely eliminated. If I stared at fucking Momo for 1 minute, my fear isn't just gonna be gone of it. That's not how it fucking works. If I jumped off a cliff and died and I'm scared of heights, that's not gonna change my fear of it. Well, to be fair, I'd be dead. But that's not. It's
Yeah, like if I
fear. I
stayed
don't
at
think
Mario.
fears just fucking go away. Like, yeah, you can face them and defeat them in certain instances, but you can't just get rid of them.
If you wanted to destroy fear in your head, you gotta put a metal pole through your brain.
I don't know if this is where he's going from, but I can already imagine he's like, oh, they reversed her character. No, they didn't.
Moving more and more.
Also, he's gonna fucking hate the fifth movie, because I'm pretty sure the fifth movie's gonna do this a lot. Because what they've described is that the fifth movie's gonna focus on Jesse having a new problem or whatever the fuck. It's probably gonna be somewhat similar to this. So, man, the fifth movie's gonna suck to this guy.
Oh,
If that is it, anyway. But, fuck.
Or memories of her childhood under the bed, destined to gather dust for all of eternity. And Jessie was left with no choice but to lie there, day after day, month after month, year after year, waiting for the day when Emily might remember her and come back for one last playtime. And for a moment, it looks like she's going to get her chance as, while trying to retrieve the items that spilled out of her purse, Emily reaches under the bed and finds something that she had forgotten about for years. Jessie the cowgirl doll. The toy that gave her childhood so much joy, now staring eye to eye with a kid that gave her life purpose. And for one blissful moment, Jessie could relive those days they spent together, dreaming of the future memories they could
Could you
make.
imagine something different where toys die when the kids stop loving them?
that would be a lot darker.
Yeah, because that means their lifespan would be not that long.
Only to be
It'd be
casually
like a pet,
tossed into a
really.
donation pile without a second thought, leaving Jessie behind once and for all, giving her no choice but to sit in this cramped box and watch her whole world disappear over the horizon, doomed to sit in this tiny space amidst a massive storage facility for the rest of her life, forever replaying
Alright,
in her
get on
mind
with
the
it.
days when somebody loved her. This is what leads to her fear of enclosed spaces, and you can see
Yeah,
it
no.
throughout all of her scenes in the original trilogy. When Al is seconds away from coming back into the room, she only has to jump into a box filled with styrofoam for a few minutes at most before he leaves again. But even that prospect is too painful for her because it resurrects all those painful memories that had long since been pushed down to the pits of her mind and brings them all back up to the surface. The
Don't be
cowgirl
a
who
bitch.
mere moments ago was raring for adventure has now been frozen with fear, and this is not something that can be conquered easily. In Toy Story 3,
Yep.
Jessie starts hyperventilating at the mere thought of Andy abandoning her in the same way that Emily did and actively says, "I can't wait!" the second after the trash bag is sealed shut. She may have found a new home with Woody and Buzz as her friends and Andy as her owner, but no amount of familial relationships can so easily purge your trauma when you suffered in isolation, darkness, and claustrophobia for as many years as Jessie has
Okay,
done. And
so
all
where we
this
going?
buildup is what makes Toy Story of Terror so incredibly powerful. At first, it starts off as just another normal day in Jessie's life, confidently declaring that this campy horror film the other toys are freaking out over doesn't faze her in the slightest, only to then be trapped in a tiny toolbox moments later as the walls start closing in on her. She is still, decades later, having to suffer through her phobias, even in spite of all the dangers she's fought her way past, as shown in this toolbox scene. And then again, minutes later when she's left all alone in Bonnie's suitcase. It's destroying her. It's the one obstacle in her life that she's never been able to overcome as Emily, and the abandonment she caused Jessie to endure, keep resurfacing whenever the
so he
walls
is
start
gonna say
closing
what I
in,
thought.
until the lives of her friends are at risk, until Ron successfully steals every last one of Bonnie's toys ready to sell them on eBay, until he seals Woody away in a package and ships him off to Al, and until the only one in a position to rescue him is Jessie. All her friends are trapped behind the glass. Bonnie is outside with her mom observing the flat tire be fixed. There's no one around to help save the day. It all comes down to her. She's Woody's only chance at getting back to Bonnie before he's shipped back to Al's toy barn. And the only way she can do it is to confront the only fear she's ever known. Seal herself in a box and sneak onto the delivery truck to break him out from the inside. But despite her bravery in facing her fears, she immediately slips back into the panic state she had become so familiar with, hyperventilating as she feels the box grow smaller and smaller. But she knows she can't let her phobia corrupt her anymore. Not when everyone she loves and cares about is depending on her. Not when she's the only chance they have at escape. And so, finally, after 2 movies worth of build-up, she steadies her nerves even as she feels the walls closing in again. She regains her composure long enough to find something she can use to escape the box, and she slices the seal, triumphantly kicking open the flaps of her box, putting a clip in her mouth and donning her iconic cowgirl hat, ready to bust Woody out of this truck. She has finally overcome the one thing that was always holding her back, the only thing that could paralyze the adventurous cowgirl we all knew and loved. And she stared it right in the face and told it to back off forever. It is phenomenal. It is the culmination of all her character work throughout this series, and it pays off in the best way imaginable, as now Jessie is no longer terrified of enclosed spaces like she once was. Only for Toy Story 4 to come rampaging into the picture and completely destroy all of that. Jessie's journey meant nothing now. It meant absolute squat. Her harrowing character arc that allowed her to finally confront her trauma head on and kick it away forever has now been undone in a matter of seconds by this one shot. And as a gentle reminder, Josh Cooley...
It really fucking hasn't, though. It doesn't mean the fear's just gone.
No, we spent like 7 minutes on that.
How about we realise that in that situation, she literally fucking had to save all of the toys. That doesn't mean the fear's fucking gone.
Yeah.
Like she's still is gonna be claustrophobic and is gonna be fucking freaking out in the closet. So you're telling me that 1 second ruins her entire fucking character? It doesn't at all.
Yikes.
Well, are we just gonna make it where she just isn't scared of that anymore?
Yeah.
Well, then what the fuck would she have then?
I don't know.
Yeah, so we're fucking such a stupid point. God, we spent so much time on. Also, I predicted he'd fucking say that right before. I was like, oh, I know where he's done with this, and I debunked it before he even fucking started. Really. God.
He voiced a character in the
Look at
very
just
same
hot
TV
chicks
special
picking
when Jessie
everything.
reached the climax of her character journey, and yet he still put this scene into the film. And to be frank, I don't really care whether he forgot this special or if he just maliciously chose to ignore it, because either way, the result is the same. Jessie's entire character arc was just crumpled up and thrown in the trash, and it was all done with absolutely no care in the world. Thanks, Josh Cooley, you talentless hack. But
Thanks,
hey,
Josh.
at least Jessie's adventurous personality hasn't been destroyed yet. So, we have that to look forward to. Right? Anyway, kicking on with the plot, Dolly asks Woody if she needs to be worried about the mental well-being of Andy's toys while they're stuck in the closet, which makes no sense at all. First of all, there's no way that in the years since Toy Story 3, this is the first time they've all been put in the closet, so this shouldn't be a new situation for Dolly to react to. Secondly, these toys spent years locked in a toy box without getting any playtime at all and managed to get through it completely unscathed, and yet now Rex and Slinky are acting like it's the end of the world? Wait, what? So then Buzz asks Woody about how he's feeling today in the most awkward way imaginable.
Did we ever see them fully in the box, the toy box, that long? The only time they fucking did was when they were trying to fucking get Andy to play with them. We didn't even see the full time. And also, they probably got used to it. The difference here is they're actually being played with again, but now they're like, oh fuck, well why are we here?
Yeah, they're gonna be like scared every single time they put away.
Yeah, exactly, because every toy's getting the same thing, and that's their kid losing interest in them.
Yeah.
So again, that doesn't work.
And I just listen to this dialogue.
How are you feeling about today? Good. Good. Okay. Good.
I don't. Who are you? What did you do with the Woody and Buzz we watched in the original trilogy?
Who the fuck doesn't talk like that sometimes? Like, come on, they've known each other for so long. Not every conversation is gonna be over fucking excited.
Yeah, they probably farted each other's presents.
Fucking hell, man. Doesn't make any fucking sense.
You two are not this emotionally constipated. Do you remember the scene from the first movie where the two of you had an emotionally harrowing heart-to-heart about the importance of being a
That
toy
was
and how
them
much meaning
meeting
your
each
lives
other.
really have? Or how about the one where Buzz confidently and assertively confronts
That
Woody
was
by
them in
calling
a
back to that first
situation
major
like
conversation
that.
they had at the gas station as Woody declares his intentions to stay behind? Or when the two of them discuss what's best for their family of toys as they contemplate whether to stick together or split apart?
And the thing to talk about in this situation is if they were feeling good about it, so they said, yeah, we're fucking fine. They're not just gonna randomly bring up their past and be like, oh, do you remember when I was a retarded space ranger?
It was fucking stupid, wasn't it?
Remember when we fought in that gas station?
Yeah. Remember when I thought that rocket ship was a rocket ship? Oh, so funny.
Like, fucking hell. If anything, I think that part like depicts more of the Toys of War because they've had so many fucking talks now that that's all they could do.
Pretty sure that was the intention.
So, yeah, exactly. Like, come on, man.
When they can speak a million words to each other without ever even opening their mouths? Do you know who these characters are? Did you actually watch these films? There is no way in the world you saw Woody and Buzz go through all their trials and tribulations and then came to the conclusion that this is how they'd speak to each other. Buzz off, you stupid movie. Anyway, while Doggy shakes his booty to let everyone know that Bonnie's finished.
Okay, I'm sorry, but respectfully, you're an idiot. Like, what? It's just they're not the fucking.
Yeah, it doesn't make any fucking sense.
The fact that he's raging over just them saying hi to each other and saying how they're feeling alright about the situation, like it's the start of the fucking film, man. Like, come on.
I hope this is that.
Fucking hell.
Just because apparently he has supersonic hearing or something. I don't know. Moving on. Woody then tries to give everyone a pep talk to get them excited for playtime, but Dolly tells him to stuff it because she's a complete. Well,
The word I'm searching for, I can't say because there's preschool toys.
but I'll let you use your imagination. Apparently, wanting everyone to get excited for playtime is a bad thing. Bonnie opens the closet doors and assembles the Avengers, consisting of Mayor Dolly, Banker Ham, Ice Cream Man Slinky, Half Shop Owner Trixie, Mailman Buzz, and wait a minute, that's not the
Mailman
face Buzz
Buzz.
makes when he's frozen. How hard is it to keep this stuff consistent?
Oh, he
Bonnie opens the
mentions
closet
it.
doors and assembles
He
the
mentioned
Avengers,
the Buzz
consisting of
face.
Mayor Dolly, Banker Ham, Ice Cream
A
Man
good
Slinky,
point,
Half Shop
finally.
Owner Trixie, Mailman Buzz, and wait a minute, that's not the
Exactly.
face
He closed mouth smile,
Buzz make.
and then in the first three movies he always had that face. But again, if we want to go extra, if Pacific of the sixth or seventh R stripe of the block, then we should talk about how the fucking purple, the color purple is slightly different. Well, it technically fucking is because in the first movie the colors were a little bit different.
It's just been muted over time.
Yeah, like the colors thing, like can work, but the face thing, yeah, that. Buzz is an
just
idiot.
decided to change his face.
Yeah, that's obviously why. I don't know how the fuck that works though, but yeah, that's. I'm pretty sure as well what it's supposed to show is how Buzz isn't as happy. I have a feeling that's what it's trying to show. The fact that before he was happy like that, but now he doesn't feel like he has a purpose. And as we can see in this whole movie, he's just lost.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what to do with himself. It's like in Retards after he left the Space Academy. He didn't know what to do, so he just decided to be a fucking idiot.
That's clearly the theme of this film, lost toys.
Yeah, exactly. And they just feel so lost. So I'm pretty sure that's why Buzz's expression isn't, as good. Like, it's either that it was actually done in a good way to show how Buzz isn't as happy anymore and feels dead inside, or there was a retarded animation mistake. So it's either.
Considering the driveway, that shouldn't even exist.
I hope it's that it's meant to be like that, but to be honest, I'm not sure. So driveway thing is a bit nah. To be honest, I do feel like if
I don't know how you fucked that up.
what's the director's name of the old movies?
God.
How the fuck did I forget this? Wait, let me find out a minute. Like, my phone isn't going up at all. Oh yeah, John Lasseter. That's it. I feel like if John Lasseter worked on this movie, he wouldn't have made those two mistakes.
Yeah.
If the Buzz one is a mistake anyway, but the other one is but because I feel like he would have known. But yeah. Also, that's what I mean. John Lasseter doesn't actually appreciate Toy Story 4 because he wanted to be the guy to do the last one, and he did get offered to do the fourth one, but he felt the story was complete. Which is fair, honestly. I understand that. I do get that completely, and he'll always be a legend.
And for the final member of her Pokemon team, she picks up Woody, takes off his sheriff's badge, and then gives it to Jesse, leaving him behind in the closet. Which is
I don't like that either, to be fair. The fact that Andy specifically asked Barney to take care of Woody, and that's the toy she's abandoning. I don't really like that either, but again, that's kind of the whole point, and it's Woody like being, oh god, I really have no purpose anymore. But yeah, that was a bit sad, but it's kind of the whole point of what's going on.
Boy, where do I begin? First of all, that badge does not come off that easily. I had a Woody doll as a kid, I know, can you believe it? And trust me, this badge.
It's not going to be exactly like the fucking film.
That's seriously.
It's probably one of those badges that's like that has a pin on it that you can easily put through the material of the Woody doll, right?
Oh shit. If it's really like that, the real fucking question is how hasn't Andy lost it over the years?
I mean, yeah, it really shows how how this is a 50s toy when it has a pin in it, which is a choking hazard and a hazard to kids in general.
Yeah.
So yeah, it more shows how it's real movies, but that's what I'm fucking guessing it is. It has a pin on it, but yeah.
Just not come off. It can come off if you have the jaws of life on hand, but a 5-year-old child is not ripping this carefully sewn badge off Woody's vest that he.
This is such a fucking stupid thing to say because it's comparing it to real life toy depictions of Woody. Like, does that just mean that this movie's invalid because of the toys did it differently? That's
According
just
to this guy.
that's fucking dumb.
And if it is
That's
that easy to
irrelevant
pull
to the
off,
film.
then it should have fallen right off his vest in many other far more harrowing situations throughout this series. Second of all, and far more important, seriously, Bonnie just pretends Woody doesn't exist? Do you remember this scene from Toy Story 3? Do you remember all these other shorts and
This
specials?
is his fourth
Did
good
you pay any
point,
attention to this
guys.
series at all? Bonnie's overjoyed to be playing with Woody in those scenes, and actively slips out of her happiness when Andy pulls Woody away from her. Out of her entire arsenal, he is always one of the toys she brings with him outside of one quick trip to Poultry Palace and Small Fry. And yet, magically, now she's treating Woody like a pile of trash? Well, actually, she'd treat a pile of trash much nicer than this, so scratch that. This is absolutely insane. She never treated Woody like this in any of the prior installments in this franchise. Hell, even within this movie, we just saw a montage of Bonnie playing with Woody with the same enthusiasm that we once saw young Andy exude all those years ago. What motivation could you possibly have had for doing this?
This idea just came from the truth, which is my daughter has a Jessie doll and she loves it. She also has a Woody doll. She doesn't play with it as much. I was thinking, well, that would happen.
Oh, I see.
So I get that, but I shouldn't really let that impact the film. But I mean, I do understand that though.
Yeah.
Like it's clearly trying to show.
Oh, why is it Jesse who gets it? Why can't it be Woody? Me.
Because you're a kid.
You're just an idiot. Got it. You didn't write Bonnie based on, Bonnie. You wrote her based on your own daughter. Hey, Bumble Clown. If you wanted to write a story with a young kid based on the attributes of your own daughter, that's great. In fact, I'd even say it's quite sweet. But write your own damn story if you want to do that. Don't infest a pre-established character with your own garbage storytelling and turn her into someone she never was just so your ironic plot can get off the ground. Oh, are you wondering what I mean by that? Well, you see, the main point of Woody's character in this movie is that he's feeling the big sad because Bonnie isn't playing with him as much as she used to. Hey, quick question. Does that sound familiar to you at all? Well, if it does, then please remember it for later because I'm not done with this topic yet. Anyway, yeah, that's Woody's plot in this movie, and it doesn't make any sense at all.
That's the third time you haven't been picked this week.
The third time this week? That's it? That's what you're so bent out of shape over? That she hasn't been playing with you for a whopping 3 days? 3 whole days? Compared against the montage
What
we
if it
just watched of
just
her
meant
playing
that
with you
week?
over the years? Or the years between movies that we
To
saw
be honest,
portrayed
that
in
was
short
my
films and
weakest
TV specials during which
Yeah.
Bonnie happily played with you? But 307 days of the week of stasis and suddenly you think she's losing interest in you? What is this stupid
I
script?
don't know if
Who
it's
wrote
on
this?
Sunday though.
And again, I really hope you remember this for later because it is going to become monumentally important the further into this film we get.
Oh, looky there. You got your first dust bunny.
How? Literally how? How did you get a dust bunny? Don't try to tell me it's because Woody's been sitting in the closet all week because we learned earlier that the only reason everyone's in this closet is because...
I thought I told you. When Mom quickly cleans the bedroom like that, expect to be put in the closet.
So Woody has been in here for a few minutes at best, and yet he's somehow already accumulated a dust bunny. Meanwhile, all the other toys in the closet that have presumably been in here for years since we never saw them prior to this point don't even have a single dust bunny. Also, wait a minute, who are these guys even supposed to be? Apparently they're toys that Bonnie played with as a toddler but has since outgrown. Hey, what? If she outgrew these toys, then why in the world didn't she donate them to Sunnyside? You know, that daycare that her mom works at? What's especially stupid about this is that the peas in a pod and Totoro are nowhere to be seen in this movie. Which, aside from being insulting by itself due to the significance that Totoro has to the studio.
We decided really early on to put Totoro in the film as a nod to the friendship between Pixar and Studio Ghibli, friendship between John Lasseter and Hayao Miyazaki. They love us, we love them. We thought it would be fun to have a Totoro toy.
Almost like the director has a problem with Studio Ghibli or something crazy like that. Aside from that, this closet consists of every single toy Bonnie currently owns since their presence here is the aftermath of her mom cleaning out the room, meaning that Bonnie either donated or threw away those 2 toys who she was playing with in Toy Story 3, and yet the toys she played with as a toddler are just sitting in her closet? Why? Well, because if Bonnie donated them away, then we wouldn't get to hear such iconic voices as Carol Burnett, Mel Brooks, Carl Reiner, and Betty White that I guarantee most of you didn't even know voiced those characters until 3 seconds ago.
We got to work with some of the greats here: Mel Brooks, Carl Reiner, Betty White, Carol Burnett as the preschool toys.
Such a privilege to work with these actors. Made such
Legends.
a massive impression on us. Be able to have that chance to record them and have their voices be part of this film was really special for us.
What's that? A stupid plot point that's allowed to function so the writer can fanboy out of her legendary voice actors? Prioritizing superficial stuff over storytelling? No, not Josh Cooley. Never.
This motherfucker is looking way too deep into it. People always make dumb decisions like, oh, well, she should have got rid of those toys, so she got rid of the other ones. Like, I'm sorry, it just goes down to she just fucking did it because she didn't. It's not this fucking deep. It really isn't at all.
No.
It shouldn't even be something that's more of it. Like, it's something serious. Like, he rages on it. Like, it completely retcons the whole fucking thing.
I'm only just sad that those 2 the peas and the guy.
Yeah, Totoro. Like, why don't I never even noticed they weren't in Toy Story. Well, I noticed the peas weren't in there, but I swear fucking Totoro was in the background.
I guess not.
Fuck.
Remember the scene where he has like the craziest smile?
No.
He had like, oh, I don't know. Can't explain it.
Yeah, but why aren't they there though? That's kind of fuck. Bobby, why'd you have to get rid of them?
Maybe she lost him.
Oh yeah. Maybe.
And why are you guys even talking anyway? Bonnie's literally right there! Sound can still travel through the blinders. You aren't soundproof in there. What are you doing? Moving on, Bonnie's dad comes into her room to tell her they have to leave to go to kindergarten orientation. Yeah, he has a voice. Who knew? And she obviously doesn't want to go, so she pleads with her dad to be allowed to bring a toy with her to school, but he says nah because he's a jerk, and so they leave the room empty-handed. Then everyone wakes up since the humans have left their immediate vicinity, but Dolly has to yell at everyone because...
Bonnie always forgets something. She'll be back any second.
No, she doesn't. She's never done that. Throughout every single scene that Bonnie...
This literally happens in one of the tunes.
Really?
It does. This exact thing happens in the fucking Toy Story tunes. I swear it does. Where she goes back in her room. I swear to God it does.
He's ever been in. We have literally never seen her play with her toys, leave the room, and then immediately run back into the room seconds later because she
You
forgot
just showed her
What are you
fucking doing that though.
talking about. Then Woody opens the closet
Wait a
doors and
minute.
Buzz checks on
My
to see if he's
head's
doing okay, at
going
which point
wild.
Jesse gives Woody back his sheriff's badge. What What is happening right now? If your concern is that you need to not touch or move anything because Bonnie will be back any second, that she might notice that something has moved, which doesn't make any sense because she's a kindergartner, then why would you undo what Bonnie just did to Jesse? That's like the most suspicious thing you could do outside of sprinting down the stairs straight towards the other humans. What was even the point of Dolly ordering everyone to freeze again when everyone, including Dolly herself, by the way, just completely ignores that order as if it meant nothing? Who wrote this dialogue? None of this makes any
No
sense.
one likes
Oh,
Dolly.
by the way, speaking of Dolly, she's a total bitch.
I can't say.
Do you guys remember Dolly from Toy Story 3? How she was very welcoming and friendly to Woody when he first showed up in Bonnie's room? How she was extremely considerate and willing to help Woody find out how to get back to Andy's house? Yeah, maybe she was a little too pushy in some instances.
Woody.
Woody, really? Gotta stick with that.
Well,
Because now's your chance to change it. New room and all. It's coming from a doll named Dolly.
But she was still more than happy to help out Woody when he needed it, and her first instinct was to welcome him to the room with open arms. Now, cut to Toy Story 4, well, all of a sudden...
Woody, can't you see I'm threatening everyone? Go back to the closet.
What
That
happened
was.
to you?
Oh yeah, you're gonna be a dick to someone when meeting them. We didn't even really know anything about
Yeah.
fucking Dolly at all.
Yeah.
We don't know anything about anyone when fucking meeting them. Like, no.
So when I first met Gromit, we were good, but now in our time since, yeah, we called each other cunts.
I'm gonna beat you up in 2 weeks. I mean it.
Ow, you fuckhead!
Well,
Oh, did that hurt?
a little bit.
Oh,
Oh my God. Guys, save it for the event.
Shut up.
Oi.
See, there's another.
Unbelievable action.
Unbelievably cringy. Right.
Alright, sorry, Woody.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't have another retarded petty argument. No one cares.
Yeah, exactly. No one cares.
I did get my knuckles.
I also got your eyes.
I hope they're not cracked.
They're cracking. Shit, yeah, I better not start cracking.
Yep, save that. Alright, stop.
Okay.
I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you, Zoo. Alright, no one cares. We're watching this.
Wait.
Oh, actually, skip a bit.
And I
The
got
Bonnie's
my drink
backpack,
anyways.
open the closet door, hop onto the table, unsync. How could you not? Then her parents come into the room to retrieve Bonnie.
Going back.
She's
In between saying that and Bonnie, we are gonna see her is when she's because of some attachment issue. She's looking out for his kid, your kid.
missed one of the fights I wanted to watch.
Do you think? Wait, when do you think we would have to stop? If there's one you absolutely.
Oh, well, now. The only one I'd want is just the Jake Paul one, which will be at like 4 or 5 anyway.
Okay.
It doesn't matter anyway, the fight I missed, I literally just watched the full thing because it was like a first minute knockout.
Oh, okay.
So I just watched it on Twitter anyway. So it doesn't even matter. It would have been cool to watch a knockout live, but whatever. But I won't miss the last one. Imagine if I do though, I watched this whole thing. I got to it, yeah, it's already happened. I'm a bit knackered though. If I can't sleep, I will. I don't really care.
Yeah.
You know,
Why is
like
the
I'm
time?
not.
Yeah. I'll do another half hour next. Sometime.
Yeah, me too.
Been in. We have literally never seen her play with her toys, leave the room, and then immediately run back into the room seconds later because she forgot something.
Oh, we ramble.
Yeah.
Well, we're good reaction channels because we actually react, as you lot know.
What are you talking about? Then Woody
We're talking about us being good reaction channels.
At which point Jesse gives Woody back his sheriff's badge. What is happening right now? And you're concerned that to not
This
quite
one's
do
stupid.
anything because Bonnie was
Right.
saying that she might notice that something is moved. Because she's a kindergartner. Then why would
This
Bonnie
is-
do what Bonnie just did to Jesse? That's like the most suspicious thing you could do instead of sprinting down the stairs like just
I remember
What was
this.
even the point of Dolly ordering everyone to freeze again when everyone, including Dolly herself, by the way, just completely ignores that for Dolly from Toy Story 3? She was very welcoming and friendly to Woody when he first showed up in Now, kind of Toy Story 4, all of a sudden.
Woody, can't you see I'm threatening everyone? Go back to the closet.
What happened here? What did you do to Dolly? This is not the same character from Toy Story 3. She went from compassionate and accommodating to rude and condescending. Are you trying to make me hate all the old characters? No, that couldn't be. It couldn't be that you're trying to tear down all the old characters because we're about to meet some new ones that you want me to like more. Surely. And no, the context behind this conversation does not help things at all. It goes like this. Woody expresses genuine concern about how Bonnie is clearly visibly distraught about having to go to kindergarten for the first time, especially without having a toy that she can rely on for emotional support should she feel scared at any point. And Dolly's only recourse is to dismissively and aggressively shake her head as if Woody's idea is intrinsically awful without a second thought, and to then tell him that Bonnie's not easy. So? Did you not see how Bonnie acted moments ago when her dad came into the room? He's not making this up because of some attachment issue. She's looking out for his kid. Your kid. What are you talking about? The closest you'll get to an actual decent rebuttal from her is when she says that.
Didn't you hear, Dad? You'll get Bonnie in trouble.
And even if we entertain for a moment that this rebuttal addresses Woody's concerns about Bonnie's happiness and mental state in any way, why are you so condescending to him about this? Can you not take the time out of your day to be respectful with him about this? What is this scene? Who wrote this dialogue? Let's see if our old friends can make sense of this.
Keeps talking about Andy and keeps bringing Andy up and his experience with Andy. This is going to be a tough transition for him.
No, shut up. What are you talking about? He mentioned Andy a single time at the very end of this conversation. His initial concern was about keeping Bonnie happy because she clearly is very apprehensive about starting kindergarten. And even if we put that aside, you are insinuating that Woody using his experience with Andy to influence his decisions with Bonnie is a bad thing. Yeah, why would we want to encourage anyone to pull things they've learned from their experiences as important factors in the decision-making process? How silly of a concept. Just get out of here with this crap. You aren't making any sense.
We're setting up that Bonnie is going to be okay playing with Jesse. She's got her share. She will be okay without Woody. We're going to see how that kind of plays out at the end of the film.
You're right. We are going to see how this plays out. But it's going to happen a lot sooner than the end of the film, friends. So please keep this in mind for later. Oh, by the way, check out this little line.
The idea of Bonnie's toys as kind of an acting troupe, a bunch of actors hanging out together and doing their thing, like Mr. Pricklepants being the fussy British thespian, Buttercup, and also Trixie, for that matter, being kind of the improv actors in the group. We just thought it'd be a fun dynamic for these toys.
Remember that dynamic from Toy Story 3? Yeah, that's just nowhere to be found in this film. The writers just completely forgot that was how Bonnie's toys were supposed to be. But, you know, keeping things consistent and honoring previous movies isn't exactly something they're particularly great at. Though, perhaps I'm getting a little ahead of myself. So Dolly shoves Woody back into the closet because Woody sucks, I guess, and then says...
Places, everyone.
And she says this literally seconds before Bonnie comes back into the room. How? How did you know she was coming? In the past, there was always some kind of audio indicator to let the toys know the kids are about to come bursting into the room, but there was none whatsoever this time. Are you psychic now? And how lucky is it that Bonnie waited until the exact second you were done chastising Woody to come running back into her room? Also, wait a minute. Dolly told everyone to get to their places from in front of the closet, despite this being nowhere near the spot that Bonnie left her, which is hysterical considering how much she chastised Ham earlier for moving less than an inch.
That goes for you too, Ham.
But it's funny.
But what
Oh,
makes
yeah,
it even
fuck you,
worse that in the
Dolly.
one whole
You're allowed
second
to go
between
across the
saying
whole
that and
room,
Bonnie
but Ham
coming
can't
back
even
in,
get
she
his
apparently
money.
teleported across the room back to her spot? Is
Yeah,
anybody
sure,
actually
Dolly.
working continuity in this film?
I love just how parental these toys are with their kids. Great that Dolly.
Can Ham just be the villain of the next one where he turns into evil Dr. Porkchop for real?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we need Ham to be more important in the next one. Like, I know it's hard with Slinky and Mr. Potato Head because, you know, the actors passed away. It's kind of hard to do that, which is a shame. But I feel like with Ham and Rex, you could do something.
Where are you
But
going first?
instead of them just randomly cracking an old joke. Like, come on. Let's get them important in the next one, please.
Knows
Please.
Bonnie so well that she's going to forget something. She's going to come back. She's just ready.
What are you talking about? What do you mean she knows Bonnie so well? First of all, that thing about her running back into the room because she forgot something isn't true because she's never done that prior to this point, so I don't know where she's pulling this from. Second of all, it's not even true according to this movie standards because the reason Bonnie runs back into the room isn't because she forgot something. It's because she is literally terrified of going to kindergarten and is crying her eyes out. Not to mention the fact that Bonnie literally never does this again even a single time in any subsequent scenes that take place in Bonnie's room. You do not know what happened in your own script. Third, and most importantly, if Dolly actually knew Bonnie as well as you claim she does, then how embarrassing is it for her to not pay any attention to the fact that Bonnie is hiding in the corner crying because of how scared she is to go to a brand new school filled with people young and old that she's never met. Dolly doesn't know Bonnie well at all. In fact, I'd say she's actually a complete failure at understanding what she needs right now. Oh yeah, I guess I kind of glossed over that. Huh?
Yeah,
Bonnie
sure.
ran back into the room to have a cry about going to kindergarten, which Woody has
Woody
a
knows
perfect
his
view of that
shit.
is understandably equally as distraught over because he doesn't
Don't you,
like
Woody?
seeing people on this emotional state. He has the empathy needed to want to be there for Bonnie
Oh,
and help
yeah, I
her
know
get through this
Bonnie
incredibly
really
hard
well.
transitional period.
Like,
I'm
Bonnie-
your certain other doll. Then her
Mhm.
parents come into the room to retrieve Bonnie and usher her out the door to get to kindergarten as if everything's totally normal. They don't make any kind of effort to support their crying daughter who's immensely apprehensive about kindergarten because they are terrible parents.
Oh, hi,
After you know
Buzz.
I've seen her crying. What is
Hello, everyone. It's me, Buzz Lightyear.
Yo, Buzz, we're watching Toy Story 4.
Toy Story for 6 hours.
Well, actually, we're not actually watching Toy Story 4. We're watching a video about why Toy Story 4 is bad. What? Are you a jukebox now, Buzz? Are you a jukebox toilet?
Woody, we are approximately 37 seconds into our conversation. And do you seriously have to insult me by calling me the one thing I hate in my life, a toilet? Come on, Woody.
Never go to scrap things. Alright.
We've been through this, Woody. I'm not a toilet.
Alright, if you don't want to be one.
Yeah, well, I'm not.
Okay, fine, Buzz. But you know this means I'm something that you're probably not going to agree with.
What are you?
I'm a Nicolas Cage cupcake flying through space.
I don't give a fuck what you are, but you have Nicolas Cage cupcake shit.
Alright, thank you.
Also, me and Croissant have actually grown a very nice friendship now.
Really?
Yeah, I've learned to accept gay people.
Oh, good job, Buzz.
Yeah,
Oh,
I just
called Buzz.
I just try to see him as a new Rex, you know, because he's a green dinosaur.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah, Croissant's cool now. So, Woody, I was thinking we could get the full gang back together.
Oh yeah.
Charles, can I go back into house arrest? We'll see.
That means yes.
Yeah, it's because I'm actually being nice. Alright, good. Yeah, we also need a Jessie of the group, so I was thinking we could ask Rouge to do that.
Oh, but that won't work, unfortunately.
Mr. Potato Head, Homer. We already have our Rex. Slinky. Who's a... Oh, Gromit, he's a dog.
Gromit and Buster. That makes Wallace handy.
Aww.
Yes, I'm going to use you to make a terrible movie.
Don't do that, I'm Woody.
No, you're Buzz, Albazo.
can we go back to the story? You can be the ham, I suppose. Actually, no.
No,
Piggy
that's
Yoinkster.
Youngster.
Piggy Yoinkster.
Although he has like a completely different personality.
There's someone here who's obsessed with money and doesn't care about people's feelings. Oh, Charizard, you can be ham. Oh, fuck off. Look,
You'll keep your money safe. No, it should be Mr. Krabs.
look, no, don't. Why? Woody can't be hurt right now. Why not? Because we need him. Woody, don't do that. Do that bang again. Do a bang again. I do. I double do you, motherfucker. Do one more bang god last time. He fucked up the line. What's that?
You okay, Buzz?
Oh, I missed.
Oh,
Uh-oh. Actually,
you idiot. We should get back to the story. Oh, yeah, but I wonder what Buzz's take on everything will be.
well, I'll stick here and I'll react.
I'll stick here.
I'll stick my dick in.
I'll stick here.
Yeah, me and Boss on the finance, that's good.
It is, so I don't have to hear about you both
No.
whining about each other.
Oh yeah, guys. What do you want, me shit face? Me, Shrek, and Incineroar started a podcast. Why? Because we wanted to. We're like a trio, and we're making a podcast where we discuss everything. Right, Shrekkers and Incineroar? Yeah. See? Yeah, they seem very enthusiastic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you pressure them into doing it.
no, it's Shrek's idea.
Yes, I'm just very tired.
Yeah, it's fucking 2 a.m.
Why do you talk about fucking apps or something?
Just everything.
Define everything.
Every interest we have, like, you know, the boxing events, fucking the movies, my movie,
Your movie.
Shrek's movie.
Your
Why are you so close to Woody? Not.
Your movie's gonna be shit. Henry Cavill's better.
Oh, fuck off with this Henry Cavill bullshit. I'm way better than that bastard.
We haven't even seen this fucking film yet. You can't say that. Okay, but then you can't say Henry Cavill's better. Shut up, egg fag.
I think the new movie's going to be really good.
Nah.
It will. That's what me and Shrek already have done our first episode of our podcast. It was 2 hours long.
Guardians isn't even that good anyways.
I'm talking about Guardians of the Shittacy.
Yeah, see, you agree.
Yeah, well, I'm a DC person.
Yeah, but it's James Gunn who's making Superman. Oh.
Well, I think the movie's going to be absolutely shit. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, your movie wasn't any better. Wait, why are you so powerful? Because I'm fucking Superman?
Yeah, he actually.
That's nothing. I'm Superman.
Oh yeah.
Man of Steel.
This green crayon's not made of kryptonite.
Yeah, it's not made of kryptonite.
Fuck.
Fucking retard. See, not even Junior can hurt me.
I'm just gonna throw kryptonite in your head. That's not actually kryptonite. Back of your head is ridiculous.
Well, the green in my suit is kryptonite. Ow, it hurt me more.
Wait, let's throw a bus at him. That won't do anything either.
Look, I can prove how much I can beat you. Oh! See, now you have a hole in your crotch.
Buzz.
Oh my god, I have a hole in me.
To be fair, Buzz, you never even had it, dude.
How do you... Can you reverse it? Superman lasers can't reverse damage. Charizard? Oh, Mayor Pigface, why did you do that? To prove a point.
Buzz! No!
Watch my movie.
Ow, you fuckfacer. That's Batman's
It's
theme.
the wrong music, Chungus. I'm sorry.
Okay, so.
I would have Larry here, but flying over Metropolis was a red-head cunt.
Yeah, he was one.
I'm not a cunt, Iggy. No, don't hurt me.
Superlative.
Yeah, this isn't right. You're supposed to be the most morally man ever. Looks like we got competition.
Truth, justice, and the Woody way.
Alright, guys, who's more moral, me or Junior?
You, this is Superman.
Oh, but what about me? It's my whole point. Now, let me ask you this. Does Superman have sweets called packet morals? No, because I'm not a goofball. Alright, well, Junior, try hurt me. No, I'm tired. Haha, I won. I didn't even have to do anything.
Yeah.
Ah. Well, you can't beat the power of my Mario movie.
Well,
I guess I can.
Yeah, you just threw him away.
Can we get back to the story? That was a good voice, I guess. Can we? Oh yeah, we've wasted so much time, really.
I know, we don't really have that much time, so...
Yeah, I think I might cut it for today since we've done an hour and 7 minutes. Try to remember that, guys. You remember it. It's your stupid stream.
An hour and 7. Be nice.
Alright, Chungus, what are you going to think of my movie? What am I going to think of it? I don't fucking know. I haven't watched it. What am I going to think of it, you fucking retard?
I think it'll be very good.
Thank you, Luigi. Are you going to be attending the cinema to watch my extravaganza?
I think so, yeah.
What about you, Mario?
Oh, yeah.
No, DC's stupid.
I really like the DC movies. Oh, yeah.
No,
Yes.
we shouldn't.
And actually, Mario.
Hey guys, look, it's an Amy pizza.
Oh. Just as flat as one, too.
Rude.
Ow.
Hey Mario, are you gonna address the new Mario Kart update? What new Mario Kart
There's
update?
a dress in a new Mario Kart update.
Well, I don't know anything about the new update, so I'm just gonna remain quiet. Max, what about you? What are you gonna say about the new update?
Well, it's an improvement.
May you elaborate?
Oh, it's just an improvement. And that's all
But
I know.
Max, it's limiting people's experience because now they're forced to do intermissions.
Well, it's the way the game is intended to be.
Yeah, but it should be optional, Max.
Oh, next you're gonna complain about 64 again. Oh wait, that was the other one.
What?
I'm just sick of Mallow crying to me.
Oh, is he? Oh.
To be fair, that level is shit.
Yeah, it doesn't look too good, does it? People don't know what I'm on about, even though no one watches this crap anyway. What do you think of that level, Mario? Every level on 964 is 100% amazing.
Yes, it is. I don't know.
See, even Luigi knows. Yeah, and he'll glaze fucking Luigi's mansion.
Well, to be fair, Mario, you've never actually played Luigi's Mansion once in your life.
No, because it's not Mario.
Well, I have at least played all your games.
Yeah, because you know that that's where the goodness is.
But I'm just saying, I have more awareness than you.
Luigi, you barely even have games. You have one crappy trilogy.
No, there's also Mario is missing. But to be fair,
How is that helping your case, Luigi? I have an entire franchise. You're just a side character.
Oh, well, Mario.
Hmm?
Why do you have to be such a meanie?
I'm not. I'm just saying that in the video game's point of view, that's how it is. I'm the
Okay.
one with the big games, and then they did something with you that no one plays, and no one even remembers which year was yours anyway. You may have had a year, but every other year is mine. I've had 39 years then.
I don't see them ever saying this is the year of Mario.
Every year is Mario.
They don't advertise it as such.
It's fucking obvious as such.
No.
Well, last year was actually the year of Shadow. Oh, fuck off with that shit. That's just Sega being fucking retarded.
Well, at least they advertise that.
Yeah, but I'm good in every single sense. Yeah, but... Oh, both of you go fuck each other.
No.
What?
I don't really like this Mario. Why don't you just try my game?
Because Luigi's Mansion looks
Try
like piss.
No, it doesn't.
Have you played it shitty? Oi, and yeah, I have. It's pretty good.
See, he knows.
Okay, but what about Mario games? Yeah, they're also pretty good. Okay, what's better, Mario Odyssey or Luigi's Mansion 3? Well, if I'm being honest, Mario, what? Most of my Odyssey is crap. What? Because most of it is just repetitive fucking stuff of getting all the retarded, whatever they're called. The moons, right? That's what they are.
Yes, the moon.
And that's what most of it is, and it's just boring. Heck, fucking Wallace, the completionist man himself, he's not even gonna do it.
Yeah, I got like fucking half of them.
Yeah. Like, because fuck doing all that. Even fucking Eggman and Junior couldn't be asked to do 100 of those things in Bowser's Fury.
Yeah, well, I did do it though.
Yeah, but you fucking hated it. All you did was complain the whole time.
Yeah, but that's more down.
Okay, but imagine fucking thousands of that.
Oh yeah, I'm never doing that.
Exactly. Stupid. When the game story's over, that's when it should fucking end. All the rest of the stuff is so unnecessary.
I'll see this.
It's not worth the money.
Odyssey, it's honestly the easiest piss.
Like, they only do that to make the fucking long time, it for you to play it longer. But that shouldn't add more fucking price to it, because none of it is good by adding all that extra bullshit. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah, so it's like, what the fuck? Okay, Iggy, I'm gonna be honest, you're just one of those gamers who are really dumb. Okay, explain how I'm dumb. Because you're a Koopalin.
So
That's basically just racism, if we're being real. Like, oh, why does my opinion not matter? Because of what you are. That is literally just racist, Mario.
Mario, why can't you come up with a point?
Well, he doesn't even have a brain to fucking think of ideas. Well, clearly I fucking
Mario,
do.
why don't you prove that you have a brain by coming up with a point?
Luigi, I'm Mario. He's not. Fucking hell. If you had the chance to suck your own dick, you would.
I've seen him do it.
You and Max cuddling in the bed, is it? Fuck off.
Actually, that would explain it.
And now he's hit me. Just piss off. Anyone?
Is that considered sex or masturbation?
Shut up, Luigi. Stop taking his side. God, Max, I hate hearing these fucking peasants.
I know. But, I don't really know, Mario. It's a bit silly. It's Mallow.
Oh, Mallow, how are you? Good. Hey, Max.
Hi, crybaby.
Oh, come on. Fuck you.
Will?
I'm trying to talk to you, and the first thing you do is insult me. It's just like fucking Charizard.
It's right. It's just like you always mispronounce my fucking name.
Oh my god, it's my fucking accent.
No, you do it on purpose.
Oh, and now you're mocking me. Max, how about you actually have a conversation with me instead of mocking me?
You want to talk about how fucking crazily miserable you got over fucking, what's it called?
You don't even know what your own game is called.
2 a.m. Shut up.
That's not what the level's called. Oh, you just like Mario hate people over fucking. Okay, well, Max.
I'm just tired of hearing it over and over again.
Okay, well, oh, sorry, I didn't enjoy level. What do you want me to do? Fake excitement? You have to fucking go there 3 times and do the same annoying platforming thing just to get everything. How is that not bad?
Yes,
Can you not fucking bring up points just like your boyfriend either?
Oh, it's not even that bad, you just shit at it.
It's fucking bad.
You were literally trying to climb up the same wall like 1,000 times when you should have just been wall jumping your damn twat.
It was too fucking high!
Yeah, well, you could have done it.
Oh, piss off. Half the time, the fucking controls don't even work.
No, that's just you.
When it's go, yeah, ooh, and then, yeah, it just doesn't do it.
Most of the time, I try to hit the wall and I can't even do the wall jump.
Like, I'm sorry, Max, but there's no fucking way that's your favorite game ever.
Wow, it is.
But every other 3D Mario game fixes most of the issues anyway. Mario, like, fucking...
I don't care to talk about this.
Oh, what? Just because you can't hear someone's opinion that's against what you really
No,
like?
because I've heard it all before.
I wonder why you've heard it all before. It's because everyone thinks it properly. Alright, well, look, you fucking agree with me, right?
Well, yeah. If I want to play Mario 64, I'm mainly going to play the DS one on 3DS.
Yeah, not only that, I'm only 100% in it because I fucking have to. And because it's for a Let's Play. supposed to play at the fun. I would just go for my favourite levels and fuck about on the map.
Alan's always told me he's never gonna 100% this game ever. Fucking.
I said that in the video as well.
Yeah.
So, because it's just a miserable experience. Well, me and Max try to do that at least once a month.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that must be fucking hell. That's like a Lex punishment. You take that back.
Yeah.
Well, what are you gonna do? Hit me? I guess so. That's 2 people you've assaulted now. Yeah.
Alright, Super Baby-Os. Please stop fighting. You twat bastard.
Fuck off, Eggman. Alright, come on, calm down.
You fuck off, Penny Dozy Lone. Ow.
Mario.
Penny Dozy Lone.
Julia, can you tell your fucking owner to shut up?
Super Hezzy Donny Don.
Fucking Bowser Boner, wake up.
Emmy Dozy Lone 64. Emmy Dozy Lone Sunshine.
Don't you fucking start. Alright, leave him alone now. You've made your point.
Listen,
God, I fucking hate everyone.
me too. We should go on Battle Armor and shoot them all. What do you say, Mario?
I don't know, you're not a Mario character.
Yeah, I am. I'm in Smash Bros.
All you would used to do was annoy me when me and my fellow Mario friends would try to do a Let's Play.
Remember Kingdom Hearts? Ow, what the fuck?
Save that for 2 weeks. Yeah, then you don't care about him. Oh, well, everyone stop fucking hell. Can't say anything without being criticised. Yeah, most people are stupid, that's why. Yeah, fucking hell.
It's usually why I take shits before talking.
Maybe I should listen. What are you doing, Fatso? Oh, nothing. I'm just waiting for to fucking leave. Well, if you want to go, then go.
Anytime.
I don't know the way to my house, Junior. I need you to walk me.
I'm tired of this dude. Yeah, I know he's fucking just doing
Walk you. We take a car. Do we?
He doesn't even have dementia. He has something worse.
No,
Stupid.
I've just drank a bit of wank. Dad, you're not drunk. I can see it in your eyes. I can see it in your mark.
If you want to be treated that way, how about we just put you in the retardation academy?
Yep, he's not far.
That's what I would do if I had Charizard's power.
I definitely didn't once tell Charizard to do that anyway. What are we whispering about? Men's asses. Oh.
I like whisper bars. Yeah. What else do you like? Well, I like Pringles. Oh, and I really like Caterpillars. They're really nice. Oh, and what are they called?
What, Luigi?
Oh,
Mario chocolate in the Mario Kart game.
oh yeah, that's pretty
The
cool.
Mario Kart update ruined it. Oh, fuck off. I'm sorry.
I like Twix too.
God, Max, people are so unappreciative of the new mode.
No.
Like, what? Why don't they? Do they just want the same old fucking stuff? Intermission levels is the next evolution of Mario Kart. Yeah, well, it should be fucking optional. That'd be the next evolution. You know, like any other game.
You can't even adjust the audio settings in the game.
Yeah.
$80
Even fucking
game, by the way.
yeah, even Hello Neighbor fucking 2 can do that.
Oh.
Yeah, I went there. I fucking went there. In Hello Neighbor 2, you can turn all the settings down.
Say that again.
And by the way, I'm someone who criticizes the Hello Neighbor series like hell. I fucking hate that series because I always have to see it.
Say what you want about Milo, but at least he's honest and right about most things in this regard.
Thank you,
At
Woody.
least he sees the truth, and he sees the world as all transparent images. Unlike Mario.
Yeah, because I fucking you know the problem with you, Max. Well, you're not looking at the full forest. You're just looking at the trees. You're not looking over it. That's the issue.
You got tunnel vision.
Yeah, exactly. You're not looking at the view from the forest. That's your issue, Max. But me, I look at the whole thing.
I don't fucking care. Shut up.
Yeah, and you can't even fucking talk to Max about anything because he just dismisses it. I thought I was the stupid one, but you've proved to be
Out of my face, you
you've proved to be a massive fucking idiot. I guess some things never change. Yeah, resort to violence, just like your baby brother.
Times, but you just
I'm allowed to voice my opinion.
Oh, I don't want you to do it.
Well then, fuck off.
No, you fuck off.
No, you fuck off,
No,
you
you-
fat-o. Don't.
You don't deserve that hat.
Yes, I do.
No.
No, you don't. It stands for mallow. No, it stands for fuckhead. You don't know your fucking English
You at least
alphabet.
say moron.
Fuckhead. Like what? You can at least call me fag man. Where are you going? To bed.
Yeah. We're gonna end now.
Oh, Chungus just left, I suppose. Aha, now I can play on here.
Probably won't happen one day.
Yeah, shit games on here anyway.
Oh, shit games.
Ew, hello neighbour, put it back.
Mm-hmm.
See that rubbish.
My Barney here is there.
Classic OGs. Oh, Woody, you must love this.
Oh, yeah.
Molten and Snorlax. Highs and Burger.
Walton, you're very different from how you used to be.
Wait, yeah, sexually bullied?
That was me originally said that as well.
I know. That's when I look at you, I just think of that.
I was talking about Flash Thompson.
Woody, I've just a lot of stuff has happened. I also lost 25% of my brain at one point because, like I've said before, something fell on my head when I was in that jungle.
Ah, was it a plug?
How much for a butt plug? How much for a butt plug? Butt plug.
Well, thanks for watching, everyone.
I'm gonna go masturbate to FNAF titties.
Ah, very excellent. So we.
What the fuck?
Did everything. So yeah, we did 1 hour.
Fuck.
Sorry, guys. We're on an hour and 7 minutes, and we'll get back to it one day.
Woody. Lost your hat.
Oh, where'd you find it?
In my asshole.
Well,
Thanks,
that's
Jonathan.
not the worst news that I've ever had.
Yeah,
Once I have to travel all the way to Mordor to get my hat. Who the fuck are you?
Lakitu.
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 Sounds like someone was taking LSD when naming you.
See, this is actually a tomato with spikies on it. I like to nip on it.
Okay, so.
So I'm the Mario Kart racer presenter.
Racist.
Mario out like a Wario trout.
Alright, I'm out. I'm gonna fucking.
See you, Woody.
Oh, bye, everyone. Chewy boy.
I'm gonna do the outro. No, I am. Thank you for watching the May Pig Face stream. Make sure to watch my fucking movie and not fantastic shit. It's not fantastic at all.